Hello, I'm Danny DeHick, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. I'm here to name and shame anyone running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam. In this video, we're going to debate the question whether crypto gifting is legal or not. Yesterday, I crashed into a Zoom meeting. I actually crashed into the Zoom meeting with 7 internet Zoom connections, and there was at the time about 5 or 6 people in there. And eventually, they asked me to speak, and I got into a conversation with John Austin, who claimed he was the owner and he had set up $1 million mines. And it was a wee bit awkward because I pretended I was an Australian at the start, and then I merged that into a really bad American accent, and they eventually figured out who I were, and they said, "You're Danny DeHick, the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger." And then we were broadcasting live. So what I've done is I've taken that live segment and I've put it on the end of this video because we started debating with it, and they were happy to answer our questions. But it did raise a lot of questions, and I want your point of view on it. I want to know what you think about this. Now, in short, if you haven't got time to hang around, the question is, it's illegal to run gifting programs in America using real money. But because they claim they are decentralized and they're doing crypto, it's not illegal. And I think, well, that's a pretty interesting statement. But in the video, after I do my introduction and show you a few things that I've discovered, I want you to be the judge, because I'm sort of thinking, okay, so it's not illegal because I haven't updated the documents, the legal documents or the country documents about crypto, and crypto is not regulated, so I don't have to apply by all the laws. And I'll be honest, what I didn't like about this opportunity is it's interlaced with Christianity. When I first went into the meeting and they realized who I were, they actually were starting to pray. Not, I don't know why, but they had people keep quoting scriptures. And I was brought up in a religious cult. And part of the reason why I do what I do is because I used to get gaslighted by the elders and the ministerial servants on the stage telling me I needed to live my life a certain way or I'd go to hell. Well, I wouldn't go to hell, I'd die. I was a Jehovah's Witness, so they don't believe in hell as most Christians do believe it. Get my words slurred up. So I'm just going to go through some basics. Now, the first thing they did is they had a bit of a personal attack against Oz, who runs behind MLM. And they basically said that his information is inaccurate, and all what he does is promote MLM scams, and that's all he does. And I'm going, well, his website is actually behind MLM, and he does do exactly what you said. And it'd be silly if he started giving cooking lessons and started doing blogs about cooking lessons, because his site's not about cooking lessons. It's all about multi-level marketing. And I'll be honest, I do communicate with him. I'm not affiliated with him in any which way or form. We don't share money. We don't talk money. We just share information when we get it, and we tip off. So I shared a Zoom meeting with Oz a wee while ago, and he actually published an article about this gifting opportunity. And we found some familiar faces that have been associated with, let's say, scams or multi-level marketing Ponzi schemes in the past, such as the professor. Now, the professor there hides behind the name Professor. And when I went into this meeting, I confronted him and said, "Are you Tracy Lemon Silver?" And obviously John Austin. So now what I found out, going by what John said yesterday, he is actually the founder or the owner of $1 Billion Mines. But when you go to their website, it doesn't say anything about ownership. It doesn't tell you where they're registered. As far as I could see, I couldn't find any registered entity other than an opportunity. So you can go to this page and read about Oz, or you can just say, I don't believe what Oz says, and I'm not going to read it out of fear that I could be proven wrong. But if you go back and you research Tony, what's his name again? I always forget his name. It's such a hard one. He calls himself T. Lemon Silver. But he was actually been chased down because he was involved in Zeke rewards, which I don't really know anything back in 2011. But in here it claims that he'd made $1 million or done something that wasn't quite right. And I said to John when I was talking to him yesterday, you're a pretty hard fella to find. He has produced a book with 200 sicknesses or 200 cures to sicknesses. And he's 73 years of age. So he said yesterday, and he was pretty transparent. He actually started yelling out his phone number. I told him not to do that. And I hope that, John, when you watch this video, you do reach out to me, because you still haven't, even though you did start yelling at your phone number. But if you read through this whole article that Oz has put together, you can basically draw a conclusion. Because in this article, I must admit, it was really talking about gifting, but not crypto gifting. And whether there's a difference between crypto gifting and real money gifting. If it's illegal with real money, then why isn't it illegal with crypto is really the debate. And we did ask those questions along the way. After the meeting, I got an email from someone, I won't say their name, and they gave me this: $1 billion mind, Matthew 21:22. All things you'll seek in faith, believing, we shall receive. If is true, then what are you missing? And then they gave me a link to the Zoom meeting, and I can't believe this. And then he gave me his affiliate link for me to sign up. But to my surprise, I forgot all about it. John actually mentioned that I had already signed up, and I was actually a member of their program. And I normally do this because when I was looking at their website, which I hope I did still have up, their website, oh, did I not bring that up? Typical, isn't it? $1 Million Minds. I'll just bring up their website. I flipped out of that. $1 Million Mind. So you go to $1 Million Mind IO, and when you go to their website, it is actually basically a one-page website with one great big long picture, and you can't highlight the text. It's probably one of the worst websites I've seen. And if you go through here, how does faith grow strong? It's all about, religion. Can anyone acquire faith? Do I have to be religious to have faith? Who is faith? What can faith do? And you get the picture. So I flipped through the website. The first thing I did is, obviously, I think I brought up, they have they have merch. So if my computer's going to catch up, my computer's going to go slow. You're going to catch up, computer? It's catching up. There it is. They have merch. So you can buy a scarf for your dog. You can buy sneakers. You can buy a coffee cup. And you can be basically decked out with all their... so that's a little wee extra money-making opportunity for the people behind it. They've got 18 products to date. What else did I find? So I went into the back end of the website because I was a member, had to reset my password because I never logged in, and now I've logged in there. So there's my affiliate ID. So there it is, copied to clipboard, and you can go to billiondollarmind.io/the and apparently you can gift me money. And I'm going, how does that work? So I went into the packages, and it says you've got a plan 10, plan 50, plan 100, plan 250, plan 5,000, plan 2.5. And I don't understand how it works. So I'm not going to really have a go at pretending I know how it works. But what it did say is the cost of this plan is $10 and the commission given is $8. But I don't know if the commission's given to me or it's given to the person that I've signed up underneath, because I'm still going back to the screenshot of our friend here that's trying to get me to buy and sign up under him, but I still couldn't really figure out what was going on there. So then, as I was running the meeting, and you'll listen to it in a few minutes, you'll see, I said, well, what's stopping somebody? If this is a gifting program, I could literally sign up and buy a package, I think, for $20,000, and then gift, I think, $1,600 to the person that I've signed up under. I don't know. But the idea is that you're meant to, and I thought, well, wouldn't this open the door for money laundering or crypto laundering? Because theoretically, and then John said, well, we limit the amount of money. So the limit there is, in America, I don't think you're allowed to gift more than $18,000 before it starts hitting the red flags. I don't know. But after talking to them, they were really nice. And that's why I'm doing this video, and I'm trying to do as much due diligence. And I hope that when next time I talk to John, that he will clear up a few of the things that I might not get right in the video I'm doing right now. But the way I look at it and what I'm seeing is there is a possibility that people could use this platform for potentially money laundering or crypto laundering, as they say. And I'm just trying to find the video, the screenshot that I set up, the thumbnail I set up so I can talk about it. And I'll just call that up. 1 second, please, caller. So I did a thumbnail, and the thumbnail basically speaks for itself. So I want to know from you in the chat box, crypto gifting, is it legal? Or are they facilitating money laundering behind decentralization? Because it's not police crypto by America, are they doing anything wrong? Are they potentially providing a platform where people could money launder? Don't know. If you want to do some money laundering, see if you can use it and see what happens. And the next thing, are they preying on Christians? You know, this is what I believe they are, because when I went in there, they started praying for me. And the very last thing I ever want is anyone to start praying for me. As you know, I build database, and I've got a database that I've just started on billion-dollar mines. And I've come through here and I've found 2 people that have been actively marketing it. The first one is John, who claimed ownership of the company yesterday, even though they say they don't have an owner as such because they're decentralized. And they didn't say they were a DAO or they call it DAO, but I didn't quite understand. And I didn't see any proof of company registration. In fact, he's quite a hard man to find stuff out about. But I have got his email address, and I do think I know where he lives, which is quite handy. But when we come to T. Lamont Silver, he has got a history of promoting things. And I did do a video about him the other day, and I apologize, Tracy, is it Tracy? Or T. Lamont Silver, that I didn't realize your wife had passed away, and I were doing a thumbnail live. Because often a good lady in your life will tell you to pull your head in when you're doing silly things. So often I communicate with the wife to, and this guy didn't really seem to care the fact that he could be potentially doing something illegal. And I'm not saying they are doing something illegal, because I now want to know the answer. Can you do gifting in crypto, and is it not illegal, or is it not legal, or is it a no man's? Have they found a loophole in the system? That's what I want to know. All right, so now the big question is a few of the things that I've just gone through. So first thing I did do is I basically said, could you please, I said to ChatGPT, could you please give me how do I say this? After reading the article, could you please give me some questions that would be good to ponder after reading that? So I'm just going to read them out, because if I read them, they won't be very good.
Is it ethical for a company to operate without transparency about its ownership or leadership, especially when significant financial contributions are required?
Okay, so John claimed he was the owner yesterday, so that sort of eliminated that question. And thank you for admitting that you were the owner. And in the video that you're about to hear after I finish my big long introduction, you can come up to the same conclusion. The next question to ponder.
What risks are associated with a business model based solely on recruiting new participants rather than offering legitimate products or services?
Right. So is it a sustainable business model? Because I did ask them, do they have a product? And they said no product at all. And the system seems like that it will only survive if they keep recruiting. So is that a sustainable business model? And do you want to be part of such a business model, knowing that if you don't keep finding friends and family to sign up for these packages, that the gifting is going to stop, And who controls all the money? Currently, no one, because it all stays in the wallet.
Does the use of terms like gifting or donations truly distance billion-dollar mine from legal consequences, or is this a misleading tactic?
Yeah, so using different terminology but doing the same thing. They said to me in one part of the video that you can listen to in a few minutes that the governments are running a scam, the governments are running a Ponzi and things like that. And they sort of said, and the law will need to change. And I used the example of driving down the road and knowing that the law is going to change about whether we stop at a red light or not. But because the law is going to change, do we just keep going through red lights in the meantime? This is what I would like to know. You might said, how might authorities interpret these terms. I'm going to have to get this read because I'm just going to make a blunder of it. And I've done this in a PDF that doesn't allow me to copy it very well.
How might authorities interpret these terms in light of previous cases like blessings in no time or eight-figure dream lifestyle?
So I gave two examples there of two other gifting platforms, but whether they were in crypto or not, they'll probably argue that they weren't using crypto, but they might have been. I'm not familiar with them, I'll be honest.
What does it say about the integrity of a platform when the individuals leading it have a history of involvement in previous Ponzi schemes and fraudulent activities?
So T. Lamont Silver, he's got a history of promoting, Zen rewards, and it's another reward system. And I've also seen other people promoting it. They have got a long history of promoting Ponzi schemes or scams. So, in the Bible, because a lot of the people in the Zoom meeting were quoting scriptures, it does tell you to watch your associations, and often when children get in trouble, the parents will say, oh, they're just hanging around the wrong crowd. I don't know if that's in the Bible. I can't remember. But it's food for thought, isn't it? Should you be hanging around people that have done fraudulent stuff in the past? Even John said that he was part of another opportunity, and then it turned into a Ponzi scheme, and he had to bow out of it because the opportunity he was promoting turned into a Ponzi scheme. And he says that in the video. Well, you'll learn a lot about John on this platform by listening to the video that I'm going to play after my introduction.
Does promoting a religious or community-based identity to attract trust and investment from participants add a layer of unethical behavior, especially when it involves affinity fraud?
I know that's the part that doesn't sit well with me. Using religion and Bible and stuff to promote such a scheme. And gifting is something really related to being kindness, like you would in a church.
How does this exploitation of trust make the scheme more dangerous for participants?
Yeah, so there's lots of questions, and I haven't got too many questions, but I thought I'd just give you a few pondering questions
How
to think
can
about.
participants protect themselves from falling victim to schemes that promise high returns but lack transparency and tangible products?
Yeah, so they've got no product other than the shop. But anyway, there are red flags such as high upfront costs and promise of returns on recruiting others that indicate a potential scam. Are there red flags such as high upfront costs? Well, they said it was free to join. In fact, I'm a member myself, and it didn't cost me anything. Haven't signed up. In fact, just for the record, I've never invested in any Ponzi scheme or scam. In fact, I have signed up for a few like Hyperverse because I wanted to see how the back end worked. And I did say on camera once that I had bought a $14,000 package to Keith Williams, who, God rest his soul, he's died of cancer, unfortunately. But I hadn't actually done that. I just did that because I thought he was going to kick me out if I wasn't a member. These questions should help viewers critically access the platform and weigh up the ethical and legal aspects of $1 Million Mind. Now, this is the biggest point I've made. They said, what religion have you? Why are you doing good if you're not part of a religion? Is literally what they said in the video that you're about to listen to. And I said, I still have ethics. Just because I'm not religious and I don't have a religious bone in my body, I'm still ethical. I still believe in doing to others as you want done to yourself. But this is the question I asked ChatGPT.
Do you think it would be ethical for someone to use religion and email people scriptures to promote this opportunity, such as Matthew 21:22, all things ye shall ask in faith believing, ye shall receive? If is true, what are you missing?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, I was actually quite taken back by somebody emailing me after the meeting and basically using a scripture to entice me to get involved in this opportunity, and then more only give him his affiliate link, so he gets the money that I'd get if I gifted him money.
Using religion and scriptures like Matthew 21:22 to promote an opportunity like $1 Billion Mind raises serious ethical concerns. Here are some reasons why it might be problematic.
Number one. Oops, did we read that? Hello, Houston. Somebody's ringing me at the moment. We'll try that again.
Exploitation of trust. Religious teachings and scriptures are deeply personal and spiritual to many people. Using them in a way that manipulates this trust for financial gain, especially in something as questionable as a gifting scheme, can be seen as exploitative. It's leveraging people's faith to draw them into something that may not have their best interests in mind.
Yeah, so if you look at that there, you can see I've got preying on Christians, and I've got a praying mantis, and I've also got a spider at the bottom, which I think is quite cute, I must say. But food for thought. Where are we? Have I got the right one? Yes. So false. What's this one here say? Hopefully we'll get that. Sorry about the phone call. Oh my goodness, it's not working. Oh, that works. Let's see where that works.
False equivalence. Scriptures like Matthew 21:22 are meant to inspire faith in a higher power, not to justify financial schemes. Using them to imply that success in a gifting scheme is tied to one's belief or faith is misleading and distorts the original message. This can create a false hope that if someone just believes enough, they will succeed financially, which isn't a guarantee in these schemes.
I know. Just telling someone to have faith, see the vision, and trust us is just something I can't stand sitting around watching.
Moral responsibility. If the opportunity collapses, as gifting schemes inevitably do, many participants will lose money. Promoters who used religious justifications to lure people in may feel an ethical responsibility for the financial and emotional harm caused to those who trusted them because of their faith.
So, what are you thinking right now? Has Danny been silly? Should he just turn a blind faith to this practice? Is this ethical? Is this something that you would want to go to your church and tell your fellow church members that they should get involved in? Or, is it like throwing the money changers out of the temple that Jesus did when he tipped all the tables up? If you believe in Jesus, I used to, so I know what that means to some people.
Questions to ponder. Is it ethical to manipulate someone's faith to entice them into a financial scheme, especially one with a high likelihood of collapse? Does using scripture in this context distort the spiritual message, turning faith into a tool for profit? What is the moral responsibility of those who use religion to promote financial schemes, especially when many participants are likely to lose money? Using religion in this way may not only be unethical but also damaging to both the individuals involved and the integrity of the faith they are exploiting.
Yeah, it doesn't sit well with me, and I don't like those tactics, and I actually don't like mixing religion with money, just saying. They did give me an example, though. They said that I asked for donations, so if you do want to support me and my channel, my cause, you can go and buy me a cup of coffee on my website. Website's not that hard to find. You go to theheck.com, which is my website, and on the bottom right-hand corner of my website, you will see a wee cup of coffee. Now, people have actually been watching my videos, and they've actually hit the thanks button and donated. Somebody lady did me $15 yesterday. And thank you very much, that kind-hearted lady. It does help the show and keep it going. This website's taking 400 years to load. I don't know why that is. And we've got a beach ball. I love beach balls. But they said to me, you're doing the same. And they always point the finger back at you. You know, when you point the finger at somebody, you've got three fingers pointing back at yourself. And I said, well, I'm not doing this for the money, but ideally I need money to pay my bills. And I would like to be able to not worry about paying my bills and spend more time promoting and naming and shaming people who are running Ponzi schemes and scams. And I talked to John, and he said, yes, I hate multi-level marketing. And I'm going, this looks very much like multi-level marketing. But if you go to my website after that loaded, there's a button down the bottom there, and you can buy me a cup of coffee if you want to support what I do. I also have blogs, articles of me in the paper, and you can click on them and go and read them in the real papers, not like a lot of scams. You see where they have all these claims that when you click on the, like we've been in Forbes magazine, and you go to Forbes and search for them, you can't find them anywhere. I also have name and shame and how to report crypto crimes and the like. So anyway, so they basically said to me that I'm doing the same because I'm asking for money to run my YouTube channel. Well, I don't make much money on my YouTube channel. Actually, last month, I thought I was only going to make $160, and I finished up getting paid out $220. Not bad for a month. And that's from the adverts that you see popping up on my YouTube channel. Now, I'm telling you that not because I'm showing off, but I do 70 to 80 hours a week on my YouTube channel. I'm dedicated to doing it. In an ideal world, I support myself by doing drop shipping. So why do I go after these scammers? Because it reminds me of when I was in a religious cult and how I used to be gaslighted by the elders and the ministerial servants. And I don't want that to happen to people. And also, unfortunately, I've had two people in my life, which I'll talk about in the video that's coming up, who have died by suicide because they couldn't, I believe, couldn't live up to the expectations that the Jehovah's Witness religion put on those people. I've heard of people who have died by suicide who have been involved in these Ponzi schemes and scams. They've been told that if they invest and have the faith and have the vision and the belief that they're going to be made and have a passive income and they will get money coming in. I've seen it, and I've also heard of people dying by suicide. That's why I do what I do. And yes, I do like money and I do like donations. And if you can afford it, that'd be awesome. I'm also looking for a philanthropist. How do you say that word? Philanthropist to buy me a new laptop because this one's smoking when I'm using it. Anyway, okay, so then I thought I'll take this before my introduction wears thin. I've gone to ChatGPT and I've asked them why is it illegal to do cash gifting in America? Now, I know John said that this is not illegal because we're decentralized and we're using crypto and we're not using cash. Now, if I went and got a job and I said to my employer, instead of paying me a wage and put me in the system, can you just pay for my vehicle over here and pretend I don't work for you so I don't have to pay all the tax? And he goes along and he pays for my vehicle and he might even claim the tax back on buying my vehicle. I asked that to an employment advocate and he said, no, you can't do that because in the New Zealand law, it says wage or reward. Now, they might just change a little bit of the old documents they have that explain about gifting. And when John said when they do that, we may have to change what we do. But in the meantime, he believes that because they're using crypto to do gifting, they're not breaking any laws. And I can't really disagree or agree. However, the only closest thing to what they're doing is this, where in America, it is illegal to do gifting. What do they call it? So I've asked it, why is it illegal in America to do gifting, but it's not about crypto gifting? So let's just say, I'm not saying that $1 Billion Mines is doing anything illegal, but if they weren't doing it in crypto, they would be doing it illegal. So I want to know what the law says about when you're doing with cash or money rather than crypto. And this is what ChatGPT have come back and said.
Online cash gifting is generally illegal in the United States when structured as part of a gifting program or scheme that resembles a pyramid model. While gifting money to someone with no expectation of return is legal under US law, such as gifting a family member or friend money, cash gifting schemes, which rely on recruiting participants who gift money to others in exchange for receiving future gifts, often violate federal laws. Here are some key reasons why cash gifting schemes are typically illegal in the US.
All right, we'll go through those, but just notice what it said. I did notice some interesting things. While gifting money to someone with no expectation of return. So when you sign up for $1 Million Mines and you basically buy a package and you gift the majority of money to somebody, if you're doing it with no expectations of return, maybe that's not a bad thing. However, cash gifting schemes, they rely on recruiting participants who gift money to others in exchange for receiving future gifts. Sounds like one of those chain letters, doesn't it? So that does violate federal laws. I'm not saying this is, but that's what they're saying about cash gifting. This is crypto gifting.
Pyramid scheme characteristics. Cash gifting programs often resemble pyramid schemes, where participants are required to recruit others in order to receive gifts. In these setups, only those at the top benefit, while those entering the scheme later are likely to lose money. US authorities, such as the FTC and USPS, have prosecuted similar schemes as fraudulent.
Right. So when I looked, also you can join the $1 Billion Mine Telegram group. There's 493 people in there. And when I went to join it, it told me the link was expired. So when I'm in the back end here, you can come down to a thing called earnings. And I haven't earned any money because no one's gifted me any money. But do remember, my username is DeHeck if you want to pay me money. But the earnings are zero. So that would tell me that I am going to earn something. So I come along here and I purchase a package. I buy a package for $10 and it says commission given. So the person above me is going to get $8 if I buy, it must be that. So a person above me is going to get $8 if I buy a $10 package. And I thought I heard something, and I haven't seen that, but you were encouraged to get three people to sign up underneath you, and then you would get your first payout, because I presume there's a minimum payout. But I did notice that they do have a wallet, and you can withdraw money. So I'm assuming no wallet address. Okay, so I must have to connect my wallet to this. And I did notice another thing while I'm going on, is they seem to have this thing where you can, and this makes me laugh actually, is this cold wallet. that they're promoting on their website. They're offering 10% discount. But I did see Yvonne Henry promoting this to people. And this is meant to be coming out, but isn't actually out yet. So I've heard this particular wallet. And this wallet actually offers commission. So this wallet itself is offering a cold wallet. But if you promote it with an affiliate link, you get, I don't know, 30% of what people pay for it. So it's another scheme. It just goes on and on. I lost my train of thought now. Let's get back to it. So yes. So my point was, if we're looking at the back end, there is it does have the word earnings. So I am going to earn money from doing this. Oh, now I have to re-log in. Must be a timer on the login. High security here. I'll put remember me, sign in. So I thought, well, if you're earning, that sort of says it all, really, doesn't it? Okay. Now he emphatically said they have no product.
No legitimate product or service. Many cash gifting programs do not offer any legitimate products or services. Instead, they simply rely on the continuous recruitment of new members. The absence of a tangible product or service to justify the transactions makes these programs illegal, as the primary mechanism for profit is based on recruitment.
Yep. So you're not going to get a gift unless you recruit other people. When they sign up, you get gifted money. I don't really get the purpose of it, other than pyramid-like structure. And if you're good at building, you get 1,000 people who sign up underneath you, you're going to make a lot of money. And hence why they have a tab on the back end of their website called earnings, not received gifts.
Affinity fraud and deceptive marketing. In some cases, these schemes use manipulative tactics, such as religious appeals or community building promises, to lure participants. These tactics can add another layer of ethical and legal violations. To summarize, while gifting someone money out of goodwill is legal, organized cash gifting schemes that involve recruitment and promise financial returns are illegal in the US due to their pyramid structure and lack of legitimate services or products. It's important to exercise caution and avoid any such programs.
All right. Does this sound the same as cash gifting schemes? It does. Does it have the same pitfalls, whether it's crypto or cash gifting? It does. To me, it does. To anyone else who reads this, I'd love to know your viewpoint on it. I mean, is crypto gifting the same as cash gifting? Is there a reason why the IRS have actually put out warnings about other opportunities of cash gifting? Have they found a loophole? And all of a sudden, are they still using the dirty tactics, appealing to people's religious beliefs, quoting scriptures to people in emails to encourage them to sign up under an affiliate link? I mean, really? I mean, I couldn't believe it when I got that email, and I thought, how can they do that? And when they were praying in the video that you're about to watch, how far do these people go? Who's the owner of it? Well, John Austin said he was the owner and he set it up. What's the real deal going on here, ladies and gentlemen? Is this something that you should sign up for? Is this an ethical business? Are they preying on people with religious beliefs? Are they pyramid structure? You be the judge. This video starts a little bit slow, but I'm going to merge it in now, and I'd love to hear what you thought about it in the comment section as it goes through. Hey, thanks for watching, and I'll merge this video into the recorded video I did yesterday. Thanks for watching. We'll see ya. Enjoy. It's a bit shady, and my accent at the start's a bit poor, but you'll get the idea. Right, what have we got? Oh, somebody in there. All right, here we go. John Austin. He's back again. Mm. Oh, John, you never learn. Hey, Susie, how many people do you think I can get in here? Yeah, true. Now, what is this one again? The professor. So the professor, I forgot what it is. The professor. Where was it again? Um, This is boomerang. What scam is it again? Oh, sorry. Yes, somebody is talking. I just need to. John's talking. So, okay. John.
I got some of my messages when I send to my friends. I tell them, you don't need to be a Romanian to do this.
What is the scam called, Susan? Because I need to go in there with names that people know. Rainmaker,
Yeah.
Catalog,
That's
Strategy,
good.
Rodex.
Now,
Yeah,
and
wait.
what about? Go ahead.
Keith joined us. How you doing, Keith?
Uh-oh. Cool.
You're muted there. If you want to
Yeah, g'day, mate. How you doing?
say hello. Hey, we're doing good. How's everything in your neck of the world?
Not too bad. A few crocs around, but nothing too serious that we can't handle. Yeah. Oh, you've probably figured out I'm from Australia.
Oh, I was looking at. Just ran across some clips about Crocodile Dundee the other day. What a movie! Oh my goodness.
Well, I did really enjoy it. We got an Australian guy that works with us, and his name is actually Crypto Dundee, and I liked it.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was quite good.
Uh-huh. Yeah, in fact I had never really seen the history. There was the guy who the movie was made after. So there were this was kind of a takeoff from a true story, the Crocodile Dundee. And in fact, the real Crocodile Dundee had a quite significant resemblance to the guy who played the actor in the movie.
It's one of our favorites down here. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's all good for the mindset.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just sometimes you just gotta get away from everything and let your mind relax. And
you've written a book, haven't you?
yeah, in fact, I just was just reposted one I wrote, the causes of over 200 diseases, and of course it was tailored. It had been edited and tailored toward the Shop Free, my nutritional company I had, but still I have people begging me for that book. So it's only been just 2 or 3 days that Jeff put that up again, which I lost when Fazil took over my company. But so it's up on 200diseases.com, 200diseases.com. I think you can go there and access it.
Is it? Do you have a digital? Can you give us the link in the chat room?
Let's see. Yeah, I could probably do that.
Thank you.
Huh?
Do you know Keith?
I don't know. Have we met before, Keith?
No,
I think
no. This is my first time. It's first time in here.
Okay.
How did you find it, Keith? How did you find this Zoom?
I find it very great. I like it.
No. I mean, how did you find the link to the Zoom?
I don't know.
Or how did you hear about Billion Dollar Mind?
Well, what's his name? The professor. Is it
There you go.
Professor?
Yeah. Lamont Silver.
That's the name.
There you go.
You're not at all connected to the Crypto Avenger, are you, Keith?
I'm not connected to that guy, but I know who you're talking about. He's terrible. He's got some real issues, that lad.
You know what? I think I think Satan's slipping on a banana peel.
Yep.
Satan's a
because
good
these people are actually, I don't know if this is going to be HTTPS. I bet it is. I'll put the S in there. If it's not, then just take the S out. But these guys are live streaming our Zooms.
Yep.
and we're going to get some converts.
Well, I
folks.
think the guy's actually trying to promote. I think he's secretly trying to promote multi-level marketing. He's got an interior motive there, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah. Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Dan Heck is his name.
Dan Heck?
Heck.
Is that his real name?
H-E-K. That's what he goes by.
Oh, yeah. No, it sounds like trouble. I thought that was a Dutch name. He's from New Zealand, though, isn't he?
I don't know. I never really come into contact with the guy except since we started or when I was with NFT. He showed up there just before I got terminated.
He did bring up an article in one of his videos, and it showed that you've got a history of promoting multi-level marketing.
Me?
Yeah.
You talk? Huh?
Yeah. Well, and the professor.
You're talking about me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a terrible thing. I mean, multi-level marketing. That's just, you want to stay away from that.
Yeah.
You know, it's laughable because yeah, and these two guys that run the Behind MLM go by the name of Oz. Really laughable because they call everything a Ponzi, a pyramid, and a gifting program, illegal gifting. So that's what they accused us of. And so number one, they've excoriated no less than 9,000 different individuals and companies. They've written over 9,000 articles, and that's just their standard practice. They just call them scammers and pyramids and all that stuff. Well, so what is a pyramid? Well, pretty much everything's a pyramid. You got government's a pyramid, school's a pyramid, business is a pyramid, church is a pyramid. You know, you have somebody at the top, and then they've got some people that answer to them, and then they got people to answer to them, and they got people to answer to them. So their whole purpose really is just to discourage people from breaking out of Kansas. So we take the Wizard of Oz. So this was what was it, 1939? The movie come out in 1939.
One of my favorite movies really was. I love that one. That Yellow Brick Road.
So Kansas was just coming out of the Depression, okay, and the Emerald City was reminiscent of the American dream, coming out of the Depression in Kansas City into the American dream and financial freedom. That's what the Emerald City was. And the Yellow Brick Road was network marketing or home-based business or something that poor people could get into without a lot of money and put forth some effort and finally realize their dreams. That was the whole story of the Wizard of Oz. And so the Wicked Witch, her job, self-appointed job, was to keep anybody off of the Yellow Brick Road. Tell them it's a Ponzi scheme. Tell them it's a pyramid. Tell them you're crazy. You know, you shouldn't be doing that. These guys are scammers. That's what the Wicked Witch does. And that's what Oz does. That's what these other, people do, is they're trying to scare people off of the Yellow Brick Road.
Do you think he does anything? Do you think he does anything good though? Like, do you think like his site is called Behind MLM and all his content's on MLM?
Well, he I mean, there's evil in the world, and there's no question but what some of the people that he harasses or excoriates are evil people. And they probably need to be people has he destroyed.
So
ruined their
if I
names.
was looking at this though, and
I mean,
so-
why is he bothering me? Why
but
is he
yours
harassing
isn't
me?
yours a gifting?
And
Yours
and
is gifting,
it's
isn't it?
okay. It's just it's part of the game because anybody that pops their head up is either going to be looked at for good or evil. Just
But you're doing
that's the
gifting, is
nature
that
of
right?
humanity. But then we take the
Hello?
so Dorothy was representative of us. She was an entrepreneur. She wanted to make a better life for herself. You have the straw man, the scarecrow. Well, what is a straw man? It's a fictitious person. Oz behind MLM. Isn't that interesting? Oz, the man behind the curtain. Oz behind MLM. Do you see the correlation?
Not really.
And so the straw
I think if you
man
believe that, you'd
is a
have to believe in the
fictitious
Bible,
person.
wouldn't you?
Also, let me just grab a definition here.
So Danny, Keith, are you enjoying our Zoom?
Well, 70% of the people in the Zoom is me, so I'd have to say yes.
Harry,
Yeah. But I mean, the thing
Yes,
is,
John.
it's easy to point at the people that are
who's
running.
this? Neil, Shakar, and Brinda. Their stuff connecting to audio. They are trying to connect to something. Is those people trying to connect to my? Okay, yeah. That's get ready of them.
No, it's okay. Hi, Danny. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
I can't hear you, Danny, Keith,
Yeah, I don't know.
whatever. I knew it was you.
Yeah, I knew you knew it was me. I'll just turn the sound.
We can't hear you, Danny, if you want to speak with us.
We'll be right back.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Don't go to sleep on me. That's an elephant. I don't know why, but I like elephants. I think it's because my mum said no one's talking about the elephant in the room. I hope you're enjoying the podcast and you don't want to or even think about changing the record. I've got some really cool sound effects and I just had to find a place to use them. I can do explosions. I've even got a gunshot and a boom. Isn't that quite cool? Anyway, I just wanted to wake you up. Wake up and we'll get into it. And by the way, just grab a drink. I'm going to grab a glass of champagne. Let's carry on. That's good. All right. Grab a coffee if you like one as well. Yeah, hold it.
Okay, so you know them, Mary?
They're the Avengers. John, remember I just told you?
How you doing?
Yeah, good day.
How you doing, Danny?
Good, thanks. I'm just trying to fix my audio. Just 1 minute. Just
So anyway,
I will say thank you.
see you, honey. Have a good one. Just trying to get my audio done.
All right.
We're back.
Oh,
okay.
Thank you. So anyway,
so John, I'm gonna pray. How about I say a prayer, John?
Sure.
Pray. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and close because I have to get this recording over to the programmer so he can do some work on the.
So we invite the glory, the presence, and the kingdom of God. And I just thank God the Father for everyone here present. I ask for a remittance of sins of all of the people here present.
I don't have sins. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Hopefully we're back now. I'll just yeah, sorry about that. I'm trying to get my sound back.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Good. So this is the gifting.
We can hear you on under
this
your
is a
Keith
gifting
profile.
thing,
We can't hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we could hear you now.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just, like you're on behind MLM, obviously, as a gifting scam. So I'm just wondering how you defend that. Obviously, how's the sound working there? I'm just trying to
So
fix my audio.
so you want to talk about gifting, Ken? Yeah, you want to talk about gifting?
Trying to fix my audio.
So, yeah, and you probably got that from behind MLM, the Wizard of Oz.
Well, I got it from the
So they
government.
claim that we're an illegal gifting program, right?
Yeah.
But what does the IRS say about gifting?
Well, I can ask them if you like. I've
If
got
you
the phone
go,
number here.
we're an illegal gifting. Yeah, we're getting a lot of feedback.
Danny, you have so many profiles up that we can't hear you correctly.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
You need to. You have your Oz profile on. You have your Charles Monroe, and you have your Keith Williams. That there's your audio is off because of it.
Yeah, I'll fix it up. 1 minute. How's this? Is that better? No, you won't kick me out. Is that better?
No, we're not kicking you out.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right, that's nice. Thank you. That's why I have so many profiles. I'll just shut down a few, and we'll get a better sound coming through in a second. I'll just.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Please.
That's better, isn't it?
Out your other personalities. Thank you.
I have 7 more browsers open.
So are you connected with Oz, Keith? Are you one of the namesakes of Oz?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. So anyway, I assume you're plugged into his little behind MLM.
No.
And
no, I'm not associated with him in any which way or form.
Yeah.
Danny, I was I'm sorry. I just want to say I'm sorry for your I know you shared a little bit about your background, and I know you've been harmed through religion.
Yeah.
So I just say that I'm sorry that you've been harmed like that. That that should have never happened to you. Sometimes people, they use religion as an excuse, as a free pass, if you will, to harm people. So I just want to say, as a human being here on earth with you at this time, that I am sorry that you were harmed.
Yeah, I'm not a reject for it. I think I'm a better person. I'm just trying to fix up my sound. If you give me a second, I'll get some good sound. It'd be nice to have a chat rather than being kicked out all the time. So I've got a pretty amazing setup. But yeah, no, I thank you for that. That's really kind. I do appreciate that. However, I think my eyes have been opened to religion. And I still remember the Bible really well. So I have respect for people who have a religion, but I don't have much respect for people who try to peddle religion, if that makes sense. So I think everyone have their own free will, but when people are trying to manipulate people into, push people or coerce people into doing things a certain way, that's where I struggle. I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree with you more, Danny. I've been scammed by religious people. I'm far from being religious. I don't go to any church, although I was an ordained minister. I came out of religion a long time ago. I spent 11 years seeking to know the Lord, because one day I was reading in the Bible where it said, "This is life eternal, to know the only true and living God." This was in 1983. I was 33 years old.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, if I were to die today, would I inherit eternal life? And I truthfully couldn't answer. And that scared me, frankly, because I wanted to have eternal life.
If I was to use the scriptures, though, I could literally, I used to knock on people's doors from the age of 10 years of age to the age of 23. And I can overcome any obstacle that you throw in front of me and probably pull out a Bible and show you any scripture, like you were talking about gifting money and riches. I mean, you could liken yourself to the money changers that got thrown out of God's temple, but you seem to ignore those scriptures and then talk to other scriptures about love and be good to your neighbor and do to others as you want done to yourself. So you use those scriptures in your favor, but like the money changers were Jesus, if you want to go back to Jesus, he wasn't really after the money. He was more about preaching the word of his Father. But this is, I mean, when you interlace money and religion and, belief and have vision, have belief in what we're doing, it's so parallel with religion. It's not funny. Hence why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a hard
Well,
man. You're a hard man to find, John. And somebody.
We all have to find our own path, Danny. And virtually we're all on the same path. We're on the same path. Some of us don't know it, but really, aren't we all here to find eternal life?
Well, if you look at the Muslims and the Muslims and all those different religions, I always get their names mixed up. I mean, they're on a different path altogether, aren't they? They don't have Christianity.
Actually not, because if you go back to the origins of the Muslims, the Quran, for example, has an entire chapter entitled "The Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the Son of Mary, the Holy One of Israel, the Savior, the Redeemer," and even Muhammad claimed that the Allah that he worshipped was Jesus Christ.
Mm.
Hold on one second. I gotta discipline some kids.
Don't hit them. It's not in the Bible.
Hey, Danny, I want to say something. Just my 2 cents over there.
Sure.
Do you hear me?
I do. Welcome. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Well, I believe in the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, also.
Ooh, Jehovah.
But, well, I call him Yahweh.
Yeah.
Some people, they call him Jehovah, yeah.
But
what I believe, the Heavenly Father says the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
And I believe the Heavenly Father wants us to be successful and do good things. But a lot of people, they do evil.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the love of money, a lot of people say money is the root of all evilness. And I always correct them. I say, no, it's the love of money.
Yep.
But there's a scripture that you could say you're manipulating to say that this is a good opportunity. And if you look up gifting, well, going by what Oz has said in his article here that I'm looking at, he's saying it's, that it's illegal gifting. So,
But okay,
is it though?
Jenny, on your own website, you accept donations, right? Because I know you're asking for you want to do some upgrades and stuff, and you receive donations through your own YouTube channel, correct?
Well, I do donations, but I don't offer them to multi-level marketers to get a commission every time somebody donates, and that's the difference.
Okay, so then you're saying that.
Okay, so yeah, so you're saying it's okay to ask for donations as long as there isn't some kind of a structure involved that, for whatever reason, decides that maybe one person gets a portion of that or somebody else gets a portion of it.
Well, it's not actually me
now,
saying it, though.
but
this is the part that I want to make pretty clear, really. It's not actually me saying it. It is actually the government in America. I presume you guys are in America.
Okay. So are all governments, do all governments follow the law of God? Are they all benevolent?
But you live in their country, so maybe you could go live in another country. If you didn't, believe. I mean, we could, can't we literally review that information, and then I would love to know your 2 cents worth, because that's what we're here for, isn't it?
Let me share this then. The IRS says that you can give any one person $18,000 a year tax-free. Does that sound like a gift?
Well, I'm not here to look. What about, okay, let's use the religious undertone that you're talking about here, right? If you were in the religion and you're one of Jesus's disciples, and one of them was Judas, maybe. Oh no, who was the bad apostle? Who was it? There was a bad,
Judas. Judas.
Judas. Well, Cain and Abel, Cain, and all of a sudden they did bad things. Then I know you're meant to be forgiving, but would you associate with people that have done bad things?
Well, the Lord says we should judge by people's fruits. So I look
Okay,
at
I commit murder, and I get locked up for 20 years and I get out, done my time. I mean, okay, that's a bit different. But let's say if I commit murder and I don't get locked up for it, and you know that, would you still associate with me?
well, I don't think that's really relative to the subject at hand. What I think is relative is, Warren Buffett gives $18 billion to Bill Gates so he can disseminate vaccines around the world that will sterilize young women and do a lot of other horrible things. That's philanthropy. And some people look at it and say, well, that's a good thing, but what are the fruits? What fruits come out of that? So then if we take the gifting that we're talking about, what fruits come out of this gifting? Does anybody get hurt?
I think it comes down to whether you're a law-abiding citizen or you've got your own philosophy on how you should live your own life.
Well, now there are some semantics here. Number one, if we were donating US dollars and we're part of the fiat money system, then what you're saying might absolutely apply. But we're not donating dollars. We're absolutely not.
You
We're
found a
not
loophole.
in. We're in a DeFi system that isn't regulated.
Oh, that's an
So
interesting view. Yep.
if I give you a carrot, Danny, it's a difference between giving you a carrot or an apple or giving you $1. You see, you might call it semantics, but it's actual. That's an actual difference. If you're dealing in cryptocurrency, it's unregulated.
Yep, that's fair, and that's part of the government's problem because they haven't regulated it first.
Yeah, well, once they regulate it, then you and me might have a conversation, but until they do, we're totally within the law.
So why do you hide so much, John? I've tried researching you quite a lot, and there's not much information on you. That's why I was asking about your book. I mean, there's only one photo of you on the internet, and I mean, why don't you put your name to your face?
I've never hidden, Danny. I am the most accessible person that you have ever found if you have my email or phone number.
What about turning your camera on then?
Huh?
Why don't you have your camera on?
I don't have a camera on my desktop. If I were talking to you on my cell phone, I could turn my camera on.
One of my viewers is respectfully asked if you're 70. Are you in your 70s?
Yes, I'm 73 years old.
Yeah, good on you, mate. I live in a retirement village. So I'm the youngest in the village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think, there's many ways we can look at the gifting issue, but like I said, the fact that we're operating outside of the centralized finance system, then government really has no hold on us. It's no different, it's no different than, it's not really a barter system, but it'd be the same, the same philosophy of dealing in anything that's outside of
that could be a point.
Dollars.
I mean, it's like if you've got a job, you can work for an employer and he gives you a wage, but then if he says, well, I'm not going to pay you in money, I'm going to buy you a car and you can pay that off and I'll pay the mortgage in your house, but now you're not actually technically employed by me. But in our country, New Zealand, it actually can be payment or reward, and gifting can be likened to, I believe, a reward that you receive, So that's probably what, a gift is a reward, isn't it? So I think the government will probably realize that A
Yeah.
gifting scam
So, well,
is
here's
receiving rewards. You don't
here's
pay
really
for
the
rewards
difference.
normally.
No,
Or
the
gifts.
real difference, Danny, is this. If, let's say I make $10,000 from $1 Billion Mind,
Yep.
hypothetically, and then I convert that to currency, to fiat currency, and send it to my bank, then I am liable to pay a tax on that money.
Yeah.
You see?
That's why companies
And
have
so,
these credit cards now.
Even
what's that?
Companies
Hey,
are
John.
running scams, are producing credit cards where you can actually pay for things and use your crypto, which makes
Well,
it
if
untraceable.
you are, again, if you're paying for something with crypto, if you are indeed paying with something with crypto, and you're operating outside of a centralized system, is that taxable? No, because it's not codified. It's not codified. It's not within the code that requires you to pay a tax. So, why pay a tax if it's not yet codified? There's no reason. And I'm not a tax advisor. I'm just saying I believe with all of my heart that I'm operating well within the law.
So who's
Hey,
behind
John.
who's behind this Millintoli Minds thing? Because I asked the professor, and he said that it was a group of people. Are you one of the founders of it?
Well, yes, I am.
Who did your website, mate?
But
pretty shocking.
there is no company, okay?
Yeah.
There is no company. It is a decentralized system.
Yeah.
It operates as a smart contract on the blockchain, and it'll operate whether I'm here or not. It'll operate when I'm gone, because it's a decentralized system.
Hey, John, can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, in this world, it is no man's government who can govern another man. What I'm trying to say, no man can tell another man what to do. The law, what we're supposed to follow, it's the Heavenly Father, the Creator, who put the law in motion. Even if you take the money from here and transfer it to your bank account as an example, like you say earlier, still the government cannot touch their money, even if it's in Federal Reserve notes.
Yeah. Well, there are ways, if you don't volunteer into that system, and again, I'm
Yep.
not a tax advisor, but if you go to freedomlawschool.org, you'll get your eyes opened as to how, what taxes you really owe and what taxes you don't. But if you take out a license from a government agency to do a thing, then
Yep.
you have opted into their system. You have given permission to be regulated by that governing body.
Yes, sir.
But that's we don't need to go there, because we could spend a whole day on that, and that's not my my wheelhouse.
But the easy way is like this. No man can tell another man what to do.
Well, the real law
I don't
is
know about that
the real
much.
law is the real law is do no harm. Okay.
That's
If
it.
I'm
That's the
if
law.
I'm doing if what I'm doing is harming another, then we have
Yeah, but this is where I come back
my
into the
ears
picture,
are
mate.
open.
This is where I'm strong, because when I was in the New York Times, I had an organization reach out to me that fight Ponzi schemes, and they told me, because they were told that they were going to get rich out of this scheme, and the whole scheme fell over, and they've done everything that you guys say don't do, but they did it anyway because they get too excited about it all. And people are, because of the unrealistic, what they are going to receive. Now I've got
Okay. Can I
I've got a few questions
Can-
here. Okay, well, you tell me that. All right, that's fair.
can I say why we don't fit into that category?
Okay.
The reason we don't fit that description is because you won't make any more money by donating $20,000 here than you will by donating 10. You see, if you were in a situation, which most Ponzi schemes are, and we're not a Ponzi scheme by definition, because a Ponzi scheme by definition is people taking investments and paying out old money with new money.
So you've got an active audience here, mate, and I've got people in the chat room kind of saying
Okay.
their 2 cents worth, and I'm no good at reading, but I've got a computer that will read. So if you want to have a quick listen
Are
to this
you
one,
live streaming right now, Danny?
I live on live streaming.
Okay, so where are you live streaming from?
Oh, I'll give you the link in the chat room.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So this is the comment I just got.
A gifting scheme in the USA is a type of pyramid scheme or Ponzi scheme where members make gifts of money to others with the expectation that future recruits will make gifts to present members.
Yeah. So that's
Well, actually,
yeah.
The definition, the actual definition of Ponzi is a Ponzi. The actual definition of Ponzi: a Ponzi scheme is an investment scam that pays out early investors with money taken from later investors to create an illusion of big profits. That's the actual definition.
Yeah.
We don't take investments. Billion Dollar Mine does not take any investments. Zero.
Okay.
You can't invest with Billion Dollar Mine.
All right. So let's read the next one if you don't mind.
In a gifting
Okay.
scheme, only a few individuals at the top of the pyramid profit, while most participants lose their investments.
So what you're saying, you're definitely not a gifting scheme. Is that what you reckon? Well, you are, but you hide behind crypto.
Well, the difference here is when people donate here, it's for the whole purpose that donations are meant for. It's to benefit somebody. Nobody here has any reason to donate to somebody else because there is no promise of return. There is no promise of return. The only purpose that somebody here would give a donation would be to help out another individual. So if they don't want to help another individual, they simply won't. They won't donate. It's really that simple. So it's very much different than your gifting programs that you're defining there.
All right.
And I totally agree. If you're running a typical gifting program, a few people at the top make money and everybody else loses.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you take your time and watch the video. It took me 3 times to understand it. The first time I didn't understand it. But
I'm on a different level here,
third
mate.
time,
I'm on a different level. I've watched hundreds of hours of videos. I know exactly what's going on here. And I'm just doing the courtesy of not yelling down the Zoom meeting. And I'm asking the questions to actually understand the intellectual mind behind why you think this isn't a scam or it's not a gifting scam. And I'm giving you the privilege of actually answering my questions that have been given to me in my chat room just to hear your perspective on it. Because it's all very well me. It's all very well me in here yelling at you. But if I ask you the questions and you answer them, then my job is done. And these are pretty good questions, I believe, if that's all right. And I appreciate you answering them.
What is a Christian?
Yeah. So here's another one for you. Is that all right?
Hey, Danny, I am a man. I am the son of Yahweh. This is who I call myself. Most of the people, they say, when you hear about Christian people, run, don't walk away, run from.
Mate,
that's what they say. But
you wouldn't want to know my story, but my family are very religious, and I don't do religion anymore. But I'm not going to tell you my story. But I'd love to know the answers to these questions if you don't mind. Here's another one for you.
Okay.
Matrix-based structure. Participants purchase positions in a hierarchical system with money flowing from newer recruits to those higher up in the pyramid.
Does money push? So is it pyramid?
No, it is not pyramid in structure at all. Not
Right.
at all pyramid in structure. There is no pyramid here. There's no matrix whatsoever.
So if I refer someone, do I get a commission?
One person, when somebody gives a donation, one person receives a donation. That's it.
So it's a
End
very
of
shallow
story.
pyramid.
Only one person receives a donation.
Okay. Now I did hear
There's
something the other day where if you were encouraged or strongly advised that you should sell 3 packages to 3 friends. What was that in regards to?
I've never heard that. I've never said that. I've never heard anybody
I might
say
have got
that,
it
so
mixed up.
I
So
couldn't speak to it.
is it $36 your
I think you're talking about another company, another plan, not
you could
ours.
be right. Yeah, I get a few mixed up sometimes. Not perfect.
Sure.
I'm only
No
human.
Understand.
retailable products or services. Gifting schemes do not offer legitimate goods or services. Instead, affiliates market the affiliate membership itself.
Yeah. So what's the product? That's the question I
Well,
like to ask.
we are not an affiliate program.
Yep. So
We
what's
are
the product?
not whatsoever an affiliate program.
That's not MLM either, Danny. This
Yeah.
is a gifting. That's it. It's just like the Heavenly Father says, it's more blessings to give than to receive. So to me, if I want to donate $10 to you, that's it. I just donate $10 to you. That's the simplest way to put it, and it's nobody else. It's just you.
So what's the product? Money.
Huh?
What is
No,
the product?
there is no product. The product is you.
Right.
The product is you and your heart. And do you want to donate somebody to help them fix their teeth or fix their car or put milk in a baby bottle?
Oh, hold on a minute.
Or
So are you telling me that if I buy a membership or whatever you call it,
no, there is no purchase of a membership.
how do you gift?
How do you gift?
Yeah. Like
You
how do I give you the crypto?
you simply gift. You'll actually send it. You'll actually put it into your account in $1 Billion Minds. So you sign up for a free account.
Yeah.
And you can transfer crypto to your account.
Mhm.
And then if you decide, you can leave that money there. You can draw it out anytime you want to. Or if you decide you want to send somebody a gift, you simply push a button, send them a gift.
So if I had bad teeth, because I actually have got a broken tooth at the moment, and I need it fixed, and I join your gifting program, is it a possibility that somebody could gift me enough money to get $1,000 tooth fixed?
Yeah, there's a possibility of that would happen. Yeah.
How do you tell people you got a bad tooth, and how do you make people aware that you're
Well,
worthy of a
what
gift?
yeah, what would have to happen, Danny, is you would have to basically you would have to introduce $1 Billion Mind to some other people. And just like you're asking for donations to fund your website, your program, the work that you're doing now, you would ask for donations to fix your teeth.
Right. So
And no, same thing.
Yeah.
If somebody decided to send you a donation to help fix your teeth, then you would receive it. If they decided not to, you wouldn't receive it. You see, there's absolutely no obligations here.
So you-
It's no different. It's no different than you asking for money to build out your website or whatever you do with money that you receive as a donation. Absolutely no difference.
So
None.
if you said earlier on that you hate multi-level marketing, so would you give money to me to support my cause?
Would I?
Would anybody?
Well, that's an individual thing.
Yeah.
You're asking me, would I donate to your cause, to to building your website? I would have to look at what are you doing with the money? Is it something I believe in? Is it a cause I believe in? And if it's a cause I believe in and I have money to donate, I would probably donate because I am a generous person.
So what I'm trying to get
I
at,
routinely donate to different causes and different people.
so what I'm saying is your app set up to gift to people of need, or is it gets geared up so the person that buys whatever they get and then sells it to their friends and they donate money? So if I introduce 50 people to your your platform, and those 50
Uh-huh.
people signed up with a free account and then decided to put money into their account, they could choose to gift money to the person that introduced them to it, or is it automatic?
Yeah, they can choose to gift person money to the person that introduced them.
Yeah, I got another question. Here comes one. Have you got time?
Promise of returns.
Sure, go ahead.
Schemes promise that future recruits will provide returns on investments, but this is unsustainable and ultimately leads to financial losses for most participants.
Yeah, so will it sustain itself, or do you need to keep recruiting to keep it going?
If I hear that correctly, Danny, this is not what this is about. That's the reason I say, if you take your time and watch the webinar, then it will give you an idea what this is.
Yeah.
This is no more than somebody who, okay, let's say you have somebody who is very wealthy as an example, or if he's not wealthy and they know you, they know your situation, they can donate to you. That's what it is.
Mm.
This is not.
Okay, let me answer your question with an question, Danny.
Yep.
Is your donation plan sustainable? Your personal donation plan, is it sustainable?
Well, only if people keep gifting.
Well, it's same. Okay, same answer right here.
Yeah, everyone needs
Exact
money.
same answer.
Yeah.
People either donate or they don't.
Mm.
They either donate or they don't. And so our program is equally sustainable to your program, to your donation. In other words, we receive donations in the same way you do. Okay?
Yeah.
Exactly the same way. So there's no difference.
Cups of
We're
coffee.
not like we're not like those other things out there. So yeah.
Well,
so that was,
yeah, that's great.
totally irrelevant.
And that's all fair. I mean, I get it. And I probably won't be so hard on you guys because you've stopped and had a chat to me. And funny enough, but what I'm seeing here is that gifting, what it basically says, with looking at the notes that I've got in front of me, it says, according to the IRS, it is illegal to do gifting. You can do gifting up to $18,000 a year without tax consequences. But what you'll go back to is the fact that you're not using money, you're using crypto. So what I need to research, if I'm going to continue giving you guys a hard time, is that if you're doing gifting with using crypto, is it illegal?
We're yeah, you can definitely look at that, but if you look at the code itself, again, not a lawyer, but I've studied a lot of law. I've studied a lot of law. I've fought cases to the Supreme Court and won.
Yep.
Pro se.
Congratulations.
Not with a lawyer, pro se. But anyway, my take on it is this: if the IRS is codified that you can gift up to $16.1 million over a lifetime, tax-free, or you can donate to any one person $18,000 in a year, tax-free, then there must be something to this gifting. And if you look at every church, every foundation, every political organization, and many other organizations, they all receive money, including yourself, by donations.
Yeah, but I haven't
And
pulled
so it's a very common law practice to give gifts. I mean, it's from time immemorial, and it's right there codified in the IRS code. So how can we say what's a legal gifting program and an illegal gifting program? Yes.
Yeah. Well, when I was in
There are people.
the church and I was a Jehovah's Witness, they used to pass around the collection box, and they used to have
Right.
they used to have a guy that used to talk about the cobwebs in the collection box. And you know, at the end of the day, we used to feel guilty if we didn't pay into it, or you know, we didn't have to tithe or anything. But I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we were coerced into thinking that it was expected to gift. And you know, I'll be honest, you know, like I've had a bit of a hard time in the religion side of it. However, using, you know, prayer, religious undertones, to me, that sort of seems like coercing money out of people who think their money's doing something good,
Yeah.
taking
Well,
advantage of people, maybe. I don't want to say that,
so
but,
I think, and I see where you're coming from, and I can't agree with you more. Most religions set themselves up as a way to extract money from other people.
yeah.
And some of them do an extremely good job of it. They live in big multi-million-dollar glass houses and glass churches and what have you. But what they do is they set themselves up as a beacon, or let's say a mediator between you and God. In
Mhm.
other words, they're you look to them for salvation. We don't put
Well,
on any air of salvation here. We are not leading, we're not a church, we're not a religion. We're not telling people that, hey, you come here and we're going to save you, we're going to baptize you, and all the things that religion do. Do we teach some principles out of the Bible? Yeah. What does the
Mhm.
Bible say? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Is there anything wrong with teaching that?
Yeah, but I reckon when you do that
Uh,
sort of stuff, you kind of, you're sort of playing on people's religious, like if you look at me, I was sort of brought up in a religious cult, so in a way you're kind of playing on my brainwashness. If you're saying those sort of lines, or you're drummed into that. It was drummed into me what I was to think, like eternal life. Everyone I met was going to be destroyed at Armageddon, and only the righteous would inherit the earth. So everyone I met in the street
Danny,
were going to
hey,
be
Danny,
destroyed if that wasn't a Jehovah's Witness. Yo,
yeah,
hey, Danny,
yo,
a lot
Danny.
of
Also remember the scripture says
you like the Bible?
man's religion will bring you to hell. The scripture says that in Mark 7:7, if I remember that correctly.
Good man.
So,
So yeah, you're talking fear-based religion, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Fear-based religion. I teach no fear. I just simply don't teach fear. I don't have fear. Fear and faith are opposites.
And are you a
I
minister?
am an ordained minister, but I don't have a flock,
Right.
and I don't take money for preaching. Never have. Never made a dime for preaching. Okay, never asked for a collection box or a donation.
Mm.
Never.
did you
Yeah.
say,
But
Danny? What did you say? The church says they got cobwebs in the donation plate. I like what you say there.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I thought if we put money in the complexion plate, we'll disturb the cobwebs, and the spider will have to work extra hard. So that's why I didn't want to donate. But yeah, no, it's I'm part of it'll probably freak you guys out, but there's a decult conference here in New Zealand, which is the first one in the world, and we've got people from all over the world going to it. I'm actually in it. I'm part of it, which is quite nerve-wracking, exciting, and terrifying all in the same go. But I'm a real advocate with not just fighting cryptos, but 65% of why I fight crypto is because of my upbringing in religion. And when I saw your 15 scam and all the prayers and the quoting of the scriptures in a Zoom meeting, which looked like a multi-level marketing opportunity, it kind of really hit a nerve.
yeah, I
So
can
I'll be
understand
honest.
that.
Yeah. And we
Yeah,
were trained,
totally.
John, to actually say exactly what you just said. But, like when I used to knock on people's doors and they'd say they're not interested. And I'd say, are you not interested in Jehovah's Witnesses, or is it religion in general? And then they'd say, oh, religion in general. And I said, well, I can understand that because religion's responsible for a lot of the mayhem that's happening in the world at the moment. And then you would
True
open the
enough.
Bible and you'd be talking to them. Before they know it, they've been sitting there talking to you for half an hour, not wanting to talk about it. Yeah, overcoming
But
obstacles. Yeah, I get it.
that's the reason. that's the reason I believe the scripture says man's religion will bring you to hell, because today that's what we have, religion. That's it.
Mm.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, so just my last comments here on the people. They're basically saying gifting clubs are not approved by the IRS, but you're going to squish that down quite quick, and I can understand why, because
Yeah.
No,
this is not to do with
actually,
money.
Danny, if I may, I
course
see
you can.
Susie Stealth. Susie Stealth is leaving a lot of comments on your YouTube channel. And
Yeah.
I know, Susie, so you're obviously in the Telegram Billion Dollar Mind community Telegram group, because you're the one that put the link for the Zoom in the
I already
YouTube.
had it.
Oh, well, she also put it in there. So,
Yeah.
Susie, you're asking a lot of questions in there. Why don't you come on to the Zoom, since you obviously have the link, and ask the questions yourself? Why do you need to use Danny as your middleman? You are welcome to
No,
come
that's a wee bit
on.
unfair. The Susie is part of the Avengers, and we have a stealth crew of people that don't come out in public, and they feed me information.
Okay.
So we've got what we call, I'm Danny, the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger.
But
Yeah,
Danny,
yeah.
but my point is, if what Susie is doing is so righteous, why does she have to hide?
No, and that's not fair, because none of you have got your cameras on for a start, and we have death threats. I had a guy 2 weeks ago who said he's going to cut my head off, chop me up in bits, and he's going to, and he said this on camera. Now, we get threats because we go after all types of people, and we don't all put our faces out there. I live life on the edge, and I
Yeah.
don't care if somebody comes to my head off, but I'm not asking other people
Yeah.
to provide us information to put their neck on the line for a bunch of scammers.
Well, we're not asking.
You and I are very similar, Danny, in that respect. I do not hide. Okay.
Well, you're a hard man to get evidence
and
on.
any well, like I said, I'll give you my phone number. It's
Oh,
801.
You've got my, don't read it out.
801
Don't read it out.
776.
No, don't read it out. Because we're live. In the chat box.
I don't care. I will talk to anybody.
All
I
right.
just have, I have no fear. But point being, anybody that puts their head up, you, me, or anybody else, there are going to be people who take opposition, and there are going to be people who agree. It doesn't matter what the subject. It really doesn't matter. If you tell your story long enough, you will garner some followers.
Yeah.
Just simply the way it is. So, yeah, I can see why people are going to poke at you. I can see why people are going to poke at me. They're going to compare me to, people that have taken advantage of them, or failures they've had, or whatever. They're going to see what they consider to be similarities. And I totally understand that. But here's what I can say: I have no desire, no heart to hurt anyone. And the reason people follow me is because they trust me.
I thought it was your softly
never
spoken
done 'em
voice,
wrong.
John.
What's that?
I thought it was your softly spoken voice. Your you sound quite softly spoken. Maybe it's your age. That's why I asked.
I got no reason to raise my voice, Danny. I'm not angry with you. I'm not. You do what you do, and you probably try to do it honestly. I mean, I don't sense, having met you, having talked to you, I don't sense that you're out there trying to just maliciously hurt people. I don't see that in you. I see goodness in you. I see that what you're trying to do is probably prevent a lot of people from getting hurt.
Well, literally
That's
people
what I
from,
see.
I mean, I've had sent to us about 3 months ago of a lady who introduced 45 people into an opportunity, and now they all want their money back. And she said she wrote us, and the community she was in had already had 2 people that I heard of. So I go after, I just sit on these Zoom meetings and monitor people, and I love when I get an opportunity to have a chat. And as you said, my motive is actually, I believe I'm saving lives. That's what
I think you are. I think you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't doubt that, because truthfully, there are people out there that they got hearts of coal.
Mm,
They love money, and they don't care what they do to get it.
yeah. Well, they do.
Uh,
Yes, woman of
But
God.
so yeah, Danny, I agree with John that I think what your intention is to prevent people from being harmed, prevent people from losing their
Mm.
money, and get to the point of desperation where they want. I think yes, your intention is your original intention is good. I do think though that there is a little bit of warping going on where now you use a broad brush to paint everything out there. Everything must be a scam. There's nothing good out there. And it's like it's unfortunate because in everything, whether it's in the in like America and law enforcement, there are some bad cops. But you know what? Praise God for the really good cops, because I've been in some situations where police officers have really gotten me out of a bad situation and helped me tremendously.
Mm.
So, but is all law enforcement bad? No, there is some bad cops and they need to be dealt with, and but it's not all bad. And so my point is that you think every opportunity, it seems, from my perspective, that every opportunity is bad. And that's not the case. Like Susie Stealth right here in the group, she put report this $1 billion mind scheme and she put the URLs for report fraud for the FTC and for IC3. And you know what, Susie, if you feel that that's a worthy investment of your time to go and report $1 billion mind, then that's
Well,
your.
okay. Well, let's say she reports it, and they investigate
It'll
it.
go nowhere. She's spinning
Well,
her wheels.
Well,
Because
imagine
we're
if it
not.
did. Okay, then. So you're open-minded, obviously. So
I'm sorry. What?
You're open-minded. So I'm just saying. Imagine. I'm just trying to change the battery in my camera. So imagine that Susie did report you guys, and then you all of a sudden realize that this was an illegal act. Would that change you from doing it?
Well, that thing is though,
But you said you guys aren't lawyers.
No. It's just it was like, you think that we intended, or are you saying that this began with breaking laws to begin with?
Oh, no, but
or we're trying
no. What we're saying though is, if the IRS did investigate you and they shut you guys down, would you listen to that or go, oh my goodness, I didn't realize it was illegal? Because you guys just said earlier on that you're not lawyers and you don't know the law, but you've studied a lot of law. So what are you hedging your bets, or are you that certain that what you're doing is legal that you would stand up in front of the
Let's put it this way. I'm as certain that we're legal as you are certain that we're illegal.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair enough.
But does that make either one of us right?
But I think I think what I'm getting at with this, I mean, if I was to say, would I join your organization now I've listened to it, the fact there might be a loophole, and when we run a gifting opportunity, that if we use crypto, all the other laws that haven't caught up with everything we're doing doesn't apply anymore.
No. Okay.
I already saw that you did join $1 billion mind, Danny.
I did?
You're already a member, huh?
I did?
Yeah.
I must have to find it. I was probably testing out your website. I definitely haven't signed up.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Well, I didn't join up with the intentions to gift. I joined up with the intentions to see whether it was free as stated.
Okay.
Well, but anyway, you did join.
But I'm not a member.
Yeah, you are.
And Danny, you when John mentioned
going to be arrested.
You brought up the loophole thing, and I think, are you coming from the perspective that people are trying to find the loophole to be doing something that's borderline illegal, and they're using the loopholes to get away with it?
No. I mean, well, let's have a brilliant conversation, and that's a really good, valid point. But what we're getting at here is, do you believe that gifting is illegal if you use real money and don't follow the laws of gifting?
Okay, and the laws of gifting are who is the authority to say gifting is illegal? Who are you?
IRS.
Where are you getting
the IRS?
IRS?
Oh.
Yep.
The Internal Revenue Service?
Yeah, I think so.
How much research? And I don't want to get off this topic here, but like, because Susie Stealth is actually brought up the IRS as well, so I appreciate that, Susie. Thank you so much.
If you knew, if just gonna say, you seem like you've got your eyes laser focused on Susie. If you actually knew what she does, you would be honored to have her in here. Very talented lady. And we have literally informed the IRS and Homeland Security. Government departments work with us. So we do know what we do know a lot of shit.
Mary,
Well-
let me say something to Danny.
Well, no, but wait, let me finish on. No, hey, not at one point, Danny, have I been rude to either you or Susie? Not
Yep.
once. And in fact, none of us have. And we could have actually ended the Zoom right when you entered, because I knew from the beginning William was you, and that's why I
Come on,
asked
my
John.
Australian accent's not that bad. It turned into an American one halfway through.
Hey, Danny, can I share something with Danny, Mary?
Oh,
Yeah, I just
actually,
wasn't
can
done.
Mary? I'm enjoying what Mary's saying. Can we? I just let Mary finish, woman of God, because I think you need to finish what you're saying to get your point across. Because I do agree. I'll just interrupt you. I know you're not going after Susie, but you have mentioned Susie Stealth and basically insinuated that she's not brave because she doesn't come online. I get that. But
No. I'm not saying she's not brave. I'm saying that why doesn't she come on and ask her questions instead of having to use you as an intermediary? Why not come on here and ask her questions? Because she's actually made some interesting questions, and one of them was about the IRS, and you're almost holding the IRS on like this position of authority, that, hey, if the IRS says it's good, then it's good, and if the IRS says it's bad, it's bad. And yet, if you paid attention to politics at all, there is very strong talk of the presidential candidate Donald Trump, who 45th president, who is talking about dismantling the IRS. I don't know how much, if you say you have done a lot of research, and if I knew who Susie was, then I'm sure she must know that there is a lot of stuff with the IRS that's actually, not, there. It's, first of all, it's taxes in and of themselves. It's a voluntary system, and the IRS.
Yeah. I get your terminology. So what you're basically saying is you're coming up to a red light, and you know that the council is going to change the laws about red lights, and you can go through them. But the law isn't quite in place yet, but we can drive straight through the red light now.
No, that's not actually that's an interesting direction you took it, but that
I used to talk in illustrations.
My point being is that there's the problems with the IRS and the whole taxation system in the United States.
The whole world's in turmoil, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, the whole world. But I mean, in particularly, a lot of these alphabet agencies, specifically to the United States, whether it's the FBI, CIA, IRS, even the Department of Education, there's so much corruption in them.
Yep.
And so.
Yeah, but that's really not our. That's not our subject.
No, but I know, John. But my point being is that it's like if you're telling me, well, the FBI.
So let's just forget about all the government agencies, and let's just live with crypto and gifting, and the world's going to be a better place.
Okay, so I just put your ID number. Your ID number, Danny, is 1025 is your ID number.
Yeah,
I put that in the chat. You'll see a little black bar. If you click on that, you can expand it.
If I ever logged in,
shows your name, DD, and then
I don't deny. Now I have never ever joined. I actually have joined Hyperverse, but I've never paid any money, or I'd never have been scammed. And only reason I do it is because I'm a website developer, and I like to see the mechanics and to see whether like your website is the worst website in the world. Do you realize you've got a background image that's that long, and it's only one-page website? It looks like it's been built on Squarespace. So when I saw that website, I thought, oh my goodness, they're running this, what I call gifting scam, on a one-page Squarespace website. That's what it looked like. So then I wanted to join to test the mechanics of it to see whether it was actually working. And that part seemed to be working, obviously, because you got my registration. But did I
Yeah.
sign up because I'm looking for an investment opportunity, or did I want to gift to
Oh.
another Christian? No, I didn't.
Yeah, unquestionably, I knew why you signed up, but I immediately recognized you when you did sign up.
And I didn't use a
But
secret identity. I used my real name, which is pretty hard to
yeah.
Danny@theheck.com.
So the I think we've talked about gifting and pyramids and Ponzi's and the legal definitions of those and why we are different from every one of those that you've ever seen before.
Yeah.
We're really you know, difference between apples and oranges. We're a different animal. We are not a matrix. We're not an MLM.
But you
We're
do
none
have
of those
a
things.
you
We
do have
are.
a level. You have a when somebody
No, there is no levels.
so when
No
I signed
levels.
up 3 people, those
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
all right.
If you signed up one person and you asked them for a donation and you gave the donation, you would get it.
Right.
That's simple.
'Cause
That's
so
simple.
could I say if I said to you, John, hey, can you sign up underneath me and then give me $15,000 and I'll give you a car with $15,000? Is that kind of what could happen?
No, it doesn't work like that.
We don't regulate or control anything that a person does with the donations they receive. If somebody receives a donation, they can share it with somebody else. They can buy a car. They can fix their teeth. They can retire their grandmother. Whatever they want to do with it, that's entirely up to them.
So that is literally how
we
it
don't-
works. Is I literally sign up and then my downline decides to gift me $1,000 and that would turn up in my wallet and then I could withdraw all of that $1,000.
100%.
So yeah. Well, that is real gifting, though, isn't it? I mean, because it's all done in crypto, you don't believe it's illegal. And
Hey,
which
Danny,
I think you're right. I think you may be right.
Danny, watch the webinar, man. Just watch the webinar. Really, it took me 3 times to get it. Okay, this
Yeah.
is so simple.
Well, I get it, but what I'm saying is often things are complex in crypto, and they use jargon that people don't understand. But I just keep going back to the basics, and that is it multi-level marketing? Now you're telling me there's no multi-level marketing structure in it?
No, none.
That's good.
No, none.
Right. And what you've just shared with me is you don't believe this is gifting because it's not regulated and it's done with crypto.
Well, I'm not saying it's not gifting, but I'm saying we're doing it in a deregulated space. It's not codified, okay?
Yeah.
In other words, there are no laws written one way or the other at this point in time.
Yep.
Now, if it's like the example you used of the stoplight, okay? Maybe at some point they will write laws and codify what we're doing and make us illegal, at which time we would have to cease and desist.
Yep.
You know, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Well,
That might happen someday, but
Hey,
I'm
Danny,
not going to just
well, I would
say,
value
hey,
I would value having your phone number, John, if you want to put it in the chat room. And if we did contact the IRS and they did say no, because if it's not money, it is gifting, but if it's not done with real money, we don't care about it. I would.
Hey, Danny.
Now I can contact you. Yes.
You say I can talk after Mary is done.
Oh, sorry. I'm not in charge of your Zoom, but you go on.
All right. Let me say this,
Thanks, John.
and this is the true story. This is the true story. What I'm gonna say right now.
Yeah.
30
Thanks, John.
30 years ago, by mistake, I found out to pay income tax to IRS, it's voluntary.
Yeah.
Me, I didn't believe that. So I pick up the phone, I call IRS, and the lady on the other end answered the phone and she says, "Can I help you?" And she says, "Whatever." So I say, "Ma'am, I got a question for you. Is paying income tax, it's voluntary or is mandatory?" What do you think she told me?
Well, she would say mandatory, I believe.
No, she says it's voluntary.
Oh.
And the reason when I heard that, I couldn't believe what I was reading. And the reason I called him is because In my business, I used to get quarterly stuff from them to pay the taxes. And my friend who opened my eyes, he says to me, "Have you ever read your quarterly stuff from IRS?" I say, "No." And he says, "Do you know you volunteer to give them the money? That's a gifting." In fact, they call them a gifting. That's
Yeah.
what people do when they pay their income tax. And when I found out, I sent them a letter, and for 30 years, I do not pay income tax, okay? And I know you say you are worldwide live right now. Hopefully everybody hear what I have to say.
Yep. Go for it, mate.
You volunteer to give the money to IRS. In fact, IRS is a private company, private corporation, has nothing to do with the government. So when you understand that, you volunteer to pay your income tax, then that's it. It's up to you. In fact, I even got a letter from IRS apologizing to me because I asked them to show me the law. The problem is, it is no law.
Yeah.
Well, so Young, what you're saying is the people are gifting to the IRS, and of course they don't like competition, so they say gifting is illegal, but yet we're gifting to the IRS.
I could give you an hour-long dissertation on that myself.
But that's not what we're
But
yeah.
that's, that's outside of our conversation. But what Jan is saying is 100% true.
Hmm.
But not everyone is there. Not everyone's awakened to the perspective of that,
and we're not tax protesters.
No,
not whatsoever.
Yeah, but you'd think
We're
you'd be
not
quite
fighting
happy to
the
stand
IRS.
up
We're not
in front of a
we're not
courtroom
fighting
and defend
we're
what
not
you're
fighting
doing.
we're not fighting any government agencies. We're not out to hurt, harm, destroy anything, anyone. We are here to help people, and they want, whoever participates with us, joins with us for whatever reason, just to come for association, to come as a
So like a
a
church, mate.
donor to help somebody else. We welcome them. That's it.
Mm.
And just a couple things I want to bring up to you, Danny. Like right now, I could not leave messages in your chat on YouTube because it's for members, subscribers only, and I'm not a subscriber, so I can't leave messages. And also, if I try to leave a comment on one of your YouTubes, a little warning message comes up and says, make sure your comments are polite and this and that. And I mean, we already talked about how your intentions are. You're trying to warn people, but I've also been on some Zooms where you've come on and you've been a very disruptive force. I find it a little ironic that you specifically make a point of people leaving polite comments on your YouTube, and you right now only subscribers can comment, and yet you come onto our Zooms that are actually supposed to be private, and then come and disrupt and not very polite at all. So do you see the irony?
Well, I don't need to be polite because I'm not really trying to be polite and ethical and professional as people keep telling me I need to be. I'm actually a disruptor, and I'm a vigilante against anyone running a multi-level marketing opportunity. And to be honest, I go in there and I turn the functionality off that people need to subscribe before they post a comment, because a lot of people who think they'll go in there and post comments, can you imagine how they feel having to subscribe to the crypto Ponzi scheme eventually before they post a comment? It's kind of ironic. It's a bit of fun. So that's what I do it. And as for profanity, if you have swear words and abusive comments in your YouTube videos, YouTube doesn't promote your videos. And I'm trying to create awareness. So I limit. And also, if you post links or anything else, they go into a hidden comment area, and I can go in there and I mainly approve all of them. The only ones I don't approve is when people are trying to say they can get people's crypto back by going to an Instagram username, and anything that is trying to promote something that I don't believe in, I'll remove. All other comments which are negative, for or against, I love them, and I always let them fly through. But I'm not trying to be polite. I'm not claiming to be a Christian. In fact, I'm far from it. but I am actually trying to create a much awareness. My YouTube channel's not that great. I only got about 8,000 subscribers. I think I'm about 5 people from 8,000 subscribers. And I think I've saved a lot of people from grief with what I'm doing.
If you're not a Christian, Danny, if you're not a Christian,
Mhm.
you don't believe in God, why are you out there trying to help people?
Because of ethics.
Okay, well, let's put it this way.
Does that mean
I
all
agree
people
with a
that
lot.
aren't Christians aren't ethical?
I think no. I don't think you can label any group of people as being all good or all bad. I think there's probably some good and some bad in all people and all organizations. Just the same as I agree with a lot of what you're doing. I think that what you're doing it for money. You're doing it
Oh, no, I'm not doing
to
it for
help.
money. I'm doing it to
You're doing
survive.
it. Well, isn't that money? Survival is
But I'm
money.
not doing it
You
for the
have
love
that
of
money.
money.
I didn't say
Yeah,
the
I
love
know
of
you
money.
didn't. I'm putting words in your
Promise
mouth.
you.
I'm not trying to
Promise you.
twist
I
it.
didn't say love
I
of
was
money.
actually,
I just said
I was trying to
you're doing it
process
for
what you
money.
were saying. You said I'm doing this for money. I'm actually not, because I'm doing it because I don't want people, because of my experiences I've had. And I know I've been reached out to by organizations that the human trafficking and the money laundering that's going on crypto at the moment, you would not believe it. And
No,
so,
I would believe it.
but I do need money to survive, but I'm not doing
Absolutely.
this. I'm not doing
Absolutely.
this for money.
Okay.
If
So
I get money for it, it's a win-win, but it's not for.
I think we're saying
Saying
the same
differently.
thing.
Yep.
And let me just say that I do the same thing. My primary purpose is to help other people. But if I had a camera here, I could show you a couple of beautiful young children here that yeah, I'm quite old to have young children like this, but I have to put food on the
You're not a
table for my
Mormon, are you?
family. So no, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm not. Absolutely not.
And you have got one wife, not four.
But anyway, I do what I do to put food on the table, but my primary purpose is to serve others, to help others.
Mhm.
Okay. I will not work for money. I will not do something that's going to harm somebody else.
Mm.
So
Good on you.
not that I'm perfect, not that I haven't done things that have harmed other people. But if I'm involved with an opportunity that I think is good, and this happened recently. I was involved with an opportunity that started out as something I think was worthy, of my effort. But the owner of the company did some things that turned it into a actual Ponzi scheme.
Mm.
He spent the members' money, and then he had to start paying out old money with new money, and I could no longer be a part of that. And that's when I said, I'm going to start $1 Billion Mind, because I know a lot of people are going to get hurt in that opportunity, and perhaps I can help soften their landing when they fall. That was why I started $1 Billion Mind.
Well, congratulations for doing something, because I'm very entrepreneurial myself, and I do drop shipping to survive, and that's how I teach people how to do it. So that's how I make my living. And and I sell products I don't have, so that could be unethical, theoretically.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's also not illegal. But people will go, you don't have the products and you sell them, and I go, yeah. And then I dispatch them. I don't do it personally. They turn up at somebody's doorstep 12 days after they order on average. And but I don't lie, and I put the facts on the website, and I explain how it'll work. I don't tell people I'm a drop shipping person. I just tell them how long delivery is going to take. And I have quirky products that no one else has. So I'm providing a service to people that can't find gifts, or and we all need to make a living. I mean, to be honest, if there is a loophole, I get it. And if it's crypto isn't, like if I contacted the IRS and said, I've got this $1 million mindset and they're doing gifting, but they're using crypto, I'm pretty sure my guys at the IRS would actually say, it's tricky. And maybe that's your loophole.
Okay.
So
why don't you call them up and say,
Do
I
you
got
want
a
to do it now?
group that's doing gifting. I got a group that's doing gifting, and they're gifting carrots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. That's
No,
a great
seriously,
example.
seriously,
Yeah.
seriously.
No, I get you.
Isn't it's the same thing? Are carrots
Yeah.
regulated for gifting?
Yeah.
No, you can give away all the carrots you want to give away.
Mm.
So it's the same situation. Cryptocurrency is not codified. It's not regulated any more than carrots. Okay. Now, once they regulate carrots, then we better not have a gifting program with carrots, right? And
Oh,
once they
yeah.
codify crypto and say no, you can't do gifting with crypto, then we got to stop.
Yeah.
But until that time, whatever isn't illegal, whatever isn't codified as being illegal, is legal.
Well, I wouldn't say it's legal. It's like when I
With the
went to
caveat,
Prague. Yeah, I get you.
do no harm.
Yeah, it's not
Do no
illegal.
harm.
It's not legal, but it's not illegal, right? So I'll go back.
I call them lawful.
Well,
lawful.
Let's put it this way: it's lawful.
Yeah.
It's lawful, but not illegal. It is
Yeah.
lawful.
But the principle why the money to the IRS version of gifting with money, if you were to take the crypto out of it and do it with real money, the IRS would go after you for tax purposes. But because you're using crypto, you believe not, and that's okay. But I literally wanted to work for this guy, but I didn't want to get paid money. And I said, can we do it another way where you might pay for my car payments and you pay it off? So I went and asked a lawyer friend of mine, and he said no, because in the New Zealand law it says it's or reward, and that was if I received a reward for working, then I'm employed by this guy regardless whether money. And I thought, oh, and I'm just wondering and hoping that there isn't some sort of word like that in the gifting law that doesn't say or reward, but it might actually say, exchanging $18,000, but it doesn't say $18,000 or equivalent in crypto. And one day it might change, and then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, now we need to stop what we're doing. But in the meantime, we may
we agree. One day
Thanks,
it may change, Danny.
Yeah.
And if it does, then simply we'll be law-abiding citizens. That's the way it is.
Yeah, good stuff. All
We're
right,
not
guys.
here to break the law.
One of my screens is totally frozen. But I was going to ask. That's why I went in there with the Danny iPad. And I was hoping you'd be able to send me your number. It'd be nice to, or reach out to me on WhatsApp. And if you've got WhatsApp, you probably don't. You do?
Me?
Yeah,
I don't.
I stuck it in.
I do have WhatsApp, but my WhatsApp number is different than this one.
All right. Yeah. Well, it would be nice to get your number, because if I do find information out, good or bad, I'm sure you sound like you want to know about it anyway. So that's quite cool.
I'll give you my email.
I've got that.
You got my email?
I got everything about you, mate. I even think I know where you live, but don't tell anyone. If you want, hey, can I give you a clue where I think you live?
You can.
I'll have a look. So we have a database that we keep pretty up to date. That's what we do. Yeah. And funny enough, with a lot of the crypto stuff that's going on at the moment, when they're going after these, what I call criminals, I'm not talking about yourselves, they actually don't use the crypto to pin them with, because it's very hard. They often, like with Bitcoin Rodney, they said that he was doing drug trafficking, which is kind of funny.
Drug trafficking is kind of illegal.
Well, it is illegal, but they could have gone for the crypto he stole, but instead they decided to get him on the low-hanging fruit convictions, if you know what I mean. And the last one was recklessly promoting Zoom meetings without doing due diligence, and getting people to sign up, and also money laundering. But yeah, and also just for your, which you might be a bit of useless information, is most of these scams are all ran out of the same buildings, and there's an organization out there that fights human trafficking, and the amount of money that's moved around in these. It's like they use these multi-level marketing platforms and memberships to move money around the internet. It's like the cartel of drugs, but on the internet, these multi-level marketing scams are moving money around the internet like they're trying to hide it. And we've watched one scam alone has brought in $350 million in 12 months by selling fake licenses to people who were told they'll pay $500 and you'll get $1,500 back in a day. 125,000 people signed up. We watched it on the blockchain. And that same company just launched another program today, which is a rinse and repeat of something they started 500 days ago. And, after a while, like I got up at 6 a.m. this morning. It is now 6. I've been doing this for 12 and a half hours. I've watched, you get numb watching how much stuff is going on in these Zoom meetings. And, so that's why I'm not always polite. And I'm not always well informed either. So I do appreciate the chat. I mean,
Danny, being that there is some horrible stuff with human trafficking and stuff like that, it seems like your efforts would be best spent going after the truly criminal organizations out there hiding behind MLM or however they're hiding. There is no human trafficking here. There's no crimes being committed here. I think we've established that.
However, the people that are promoting your opportunities have been, and even John said he was promoting something that turned into a Ponzi scheme. So that a lot of the people who promote and recruit and build these communities have a checkered past. And that's, I've had people who I know have made millions of dollars out of Hyperverse, and they claim because it was 2-3 years ago and they learnt their lesson that they're no longer liable for paying people's money back. And I'm going, well, you're like one guy I talked to like this for 2 hours, and then he said he realizes it's a scam, but he's just trying to get his money back and his mate's money back. And now I've seen for the last 2 months, he started promoting something that was just about identical. And he was on here saying, I'm not a scammer. I don't scam people. I'm trying to help people. And I'm going, but now you're promoting another opportunity that's exactly the same as one you just got burnt with. And he still claims he's not a scammer. And I'm going, yeah. I get it. And I if you're saying, because what I get from what you guys are saying, what you're basically saying, yeah, okay, it's gifting, but it's done in crypto and it's decentralized. We're okay for now. Later on, if it changes, we'll change.
Exactly.
Yep. And I think that's fair. And that's fine. I might feel that's not ethically quite right for whatever reason. I can't even think of one. But I don't have to be involved even though I'm a member.
That's right. Yeah. And by the same token, I don't agree with everything you're doing.
Yep.
But I agree. I agree with a lot of what you're doing. I think you're saving lives. People who otherwise may end up.
Yep.
And that's a real issue. That's a real issue.
Yeah.
And I can never get used to hearing about some of the bad things that happen.
Hey, you just
Literally.
said something that I often pull people up on, and you might, I know you've lived a bit more fuller life than me, but I have actually had 2 people died in my family, my stepfather and my sister, and they couldn't live up to the expectation of the religion they're in. But somebody pulled me up one day and they said, instead of say, because you can say people died by a car accident or they died by an airplane crash, and it's just another way to die. But because I've had people in my life, I find those words a lot easier to palate. And every time I hear somebody, I think, oh, I used to say that. And now I'm always trying to think of a nicer way to deliver that sad message. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But practice it, because I think I can change the world as that one as well.
Of course.
Hey,
yeah.
Danny.
Yes, mate.
Danny, I got a question for you, Danny. Did you say you are a Jehovah Witness, or you used to go to their church, or you held?
Until the age of 23, I was a pioneer, which I used to knock on people's doors for 60 hours a month. And at the age of 23, I got kicked out of the organization. And I used to sit at the back of the Kingdom Hall, bawling my eyes out every night, wishing I could get back in. And after 4 months of doing that, they decided to let me back in. I think they was concerned about my welfare. And then 6 months later, I got kicked out again for doing the same thing. So, you know, and it meant I spent the next 2 years of my life trying to get back into it again, and then I gave up on it. And then I weren't really an advocate against it until my niece, who was 25 years of age, married a guy that was 45 years of age in the church, and then he had an affair on her. She caught him at it. She got kicked out of the religion. He got to stay. My brother, which is his daughter, used to live 10 doors down from where she lived, and he just communicated her and her family and her kids because she had been kicked out of the church. And that set me off. And then it might be fair to say I've got hatred against the Jehovah's Witness, but now I will be that guy that see them knocking on the door, and I'll tell them to get off the street and stop preaching their lies, which I never thought I'd be. But I'm not going to let somebody else go through what I went through for 25, 30 years of my life, go through the same experience because they aren't brave enough to be happy about what they have chosen to do instead of being part of an organization. You can live your own life and do whatever you like. And any organization that tries to tug or war you into doing things because of a certain reason or I go off my nut with that. So I'll be honest. So yeah, that's a wee bit of my story.
Well, I expose religion. I don't make a job out of it. I don't make money at it, but I think I've saved some people some heartaches, and who knows? Because frankly, I think most leaders of religion are basically evil people. I think they do it for love of money. But on the other hand, I believe there are a few good people out there that truly believe in what they're doing and have the people at heart, their well-being at heart, and do a great service, save lives.
And I think people were in it for the congregation and the fellowship, and then other people would be staunch Bible believers. I used to think 50-50, you know, and I think that was probably about right, you know. Yeah. So I think religion's got a lot to answer for. But I don't really have a chip on my shoulder. I
don't either.
I just get in. You know, if somebody wants to sit here and I'm vocal. I like to think I'm not a madman, but I do come across as a madman, and I've got a hell of a good sense of humor on me when I get going. And I'm not perfect. I'm not righteous, and I do take criticism. It does hurt when I get criticized, and I don't like taking feedback. But I think I just got to work on that. But overall, hey, I'm entrepreneurial. I believe in getting out there and doing things, you know, and I have done things before which probably aren't quite right, you know, but I don't meditate on those.
Hey, Danny, I think you're listening to my phone calls or something. Now you start talking like I do.
I listen to a lot of things I shouldn't.
Well, Danny, if I was there, I would shake your hand.
Yep, nice one.
I really need to say goodbye for the moment, but it's been a pleasure. I'm glad to see this side of you. I'm really quite pleased.
Yeah.
I'm really quite pleased in being able to meet you. So maybe one day who knows, our paths will cross. We can shake hands, but
that's nice, mate. Appreciate that. And the same with all of you guys here. I mean, appreciate it. I mean, if you've got any tips of multi-level marketers, feed them my way. I appreciate the support. Become an Avenger. That'd be a laugh, wouldn't it?
All right. Yeah, I mean, there are plenty out there that need to be have their story told.
And John, I just wanted to ask you with Danny here, because Susie asked the question, and well, she said that criminals can try to utilize our platform to do their work or something to that effect.
Well, you know, I suppose they could, but
actually, that's a fantastic question, isn't it? Isn't that a fantastic question? So if I was trying to money laundering, and I was in Mexico, and I wanted to put $100,000 into your gifting program and send it off to Danny in New Zealand,
couldn't do it.
You couldn't? Is there a limit? 10,000.
There's a limit.
So could I create 10 accounts and do it 10 times?
There are no, you can't.
But I
But
didn't need
there
to
are
give
many other
KYC.
there are many other platforms that are so more suited to criminal activity that you'd be stooping.
Yeah.
You would be stepping down a notch. So
We
I'm not saying that somebody couldn't use our platform for
Yep.
criminal activity, but it's just like a gun, okay?
Mm.
A gun is good in the hands of maybe a policeman or somebody, that's protecting somebody, but in the hands of a criminal that's holding somebody up, robbing a convenience store or a bank or committing murder. You see, it's not the gun.
Mm.
Just like money is not evil,
Yeah.
the love of money is what's evil.
Mm.
There's a car, any you take anything, a car can be used for good purposes, but you can also swerve off the side of the road
Mm.
and purposely kill somebody.
Part of the reason I'm a vigilante, mate, is because the governments don't do anything. I had $6 million going from Singapore to the UK. I had a guy that stole the money who moved from Dubai back to the UK, had a legitimate company set up, and he was using an app to bring in $6 million. I had two people in the company that were in charge of the finances who refused to take the money because they said it come from money laundering. And I went with, I've got a few IRS people I can ring up, and nobody asked me any more questions about it. I gave them the whole file, but as far as my knowledge, which they don't normally tell me, so something could have happened, but they weren't interested in it. And I'm going, the money's coming in the next 2 weeks. It's coming from this app. It's coming from this person. He got the money from that organization, and he has two people with their names and phone numbers who are freaking out. And the IRS just said nothing,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so that's why I cause disruption.
And that's why I call it our injustice system.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, guys, my computer's actually jammed, so you'll have to kick me out of here. But it's been nice having a yarn and lovely to meet you, God of Woman, which I think was Wendy. Is that right? Or Cindy?
Murray?
No, I did hear Murray. Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got that name.
Yeah.
It's nearly right. It's up the other way, though, isn't it? Wendy's W, Murray's M. Maria? Yeah, no, good
Maria.
stuff. Yeah. All right,
Okay,
Joe.
Danny. Well, hope we get a chance to speak again.
Yeah, no, it was good. I will go lightly on you now until I find out. Once I find out that you're not allowed to use crypto for gifting, I'm coming back. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Hey.
nice chatting with you, Danny.
All righty.
Same here, Danny.
Yeah,
It's
nice to meet you.
It's almost 2:00 in the morning, so I
Oh,
gotta
I thought
take
it was.
you.
Yeah. Hey, make sure
Yeah.
you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then you can comment.
And Susie, nice chatting with you in a roundabout way too.
Yeah, she's in bed sleeping. She's probably in the same country as you. I don't actually know where she's from.
Yeah, it's getting late here. Yeah, but yeah, Danny.
Okay, guys.
Hope we connect
Go-
another day.
Yep.
Good night.
All right.
All right.
Stay well.
Good night.
See you guys. Thank you. Bye. All right. Now I can't get back. I can't get back to my window because my computer, for once, is completely frozen, and I can't even navigate back to the window, and I'm literally frozen. So I'm sitting here thinking this is actually a really good conversation, and I'm talking to a couple of people that I've been storming into their Zoom meetings, which I probably won't do again. Actually, I'll take this one off my list, not because I don't. I'll be honest, I don't. They might be correct in saying that they can do gifting and it's not illegal because it's not regulated. I don't know, but if you've watched this video to the end and you have Susie's obviously posted a lot of comments there, and I would probably agree with a lot of them, especially the part where someone could theoretically use it for money laundering. But as John said, no, there's a limit on how much money. But then as Danny said, I've already got an account. So I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure if anyone ever asked me for my passport or driver's license or home address or any KYC details, I do not give it to them. So I did sign up for the platform and I have got a membership, as he said, but what would stop me creating 10 different accounts, loading my mate in there telling a mate to sign up, and then loading $10,000 in each different account and then gifting it to Joe Blogs. Does Joe Blogs have a limit on how much money or gifts he can receive? Who knows? But there could be a clever way of money laundering through that system. And that could be something they may find happens when they get big enough or any bigger. Who knows? And if that's the case, is it legal or illegal? Because what they're saying is they're not doing anything wrong because all the transactions are done in crypto. What's your feedback? What's your point? That was a lovely conversation. I wish I had more conversations like that. But as for now, I'm probably going to take them off my list until hopefully John gives me his number through WhatsApp. But until he actually, we find out whether gifting opportunities are illegal if you are using crypto. All right, so the only way I'm going to stop this live is by clicking a button. That doesn't work. The whole computer is frozen. It's quite a laugh, really. I cannot do anything. So I'm actually going to hold the finger down for, wonder if I can do this. I might actually log in via Safari. Let's see if I can do this clever way. So if I go to Safari, I'm already on StreamYard. Well, there we go. Let's see if I can operate this. Yep. All right, let's see. This would be exciting. So loading in on iPad, allow Danny to Heck. So Danny to Heck should pop into the Zoom. Now the fact is, am I logged in as a member or a user? I'm logged in as a member, so I need to do this again. 1 minute. Streaming tools, streaming and recording. Log in with Google. Log in with that one. These things you got to do. It's not going to work. I don't really want to hold the finger down and redo the there must be another way of doing it. Passwords. Disconnected. Nothing's going to work. Stuff it. I'm going to hold the button down. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. The last part of this meeting, I'm probably not going to make a separate video. But anyway, thanks for watching. I just don't think it's going to turn off the stream if I reboot the computer. But let's give it a go. All right. See you in a few seconds. Let me know. And thanks for your comments, Susie. They were fantastic. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Hey guys, Crypto G in for another session of frivolous tax and sobering scripture. Today we are looking at an NLP based system with a godly twist. And I'm afraid this one's going to take more than 4 fucking minutes. So poke the algorithm, hit the like and subscribe before you drop your phone in disbelief. BDM, known as billion dollar mindset, or perhaps more accurately, blind delusional masochism, is a gift-based donation program that aims to offer a generational wealth plan by exploiting a loophole in the official gifting rules. John Austin, the CEO and founder of BDM, claims that it is not illegal to gift more than the land laws state if you use an unregulated asset like carrots. And his program will allow you to ultimately become a billionaire with the right mindset. Now, that's a shitload of beta-carotene, but I don't believe it is the orange pill that you seek. Imagine the logistics of distributing a pile of assets that big. They would rot out before you got your principal back, which is why carrots haven't been adopted as sound money. There's a different orange for that. So what is the right mindset? Well, I think we can all agree that a positive one is essential for successful outcome. But should it be one that hides the reality behind a godly hubris? Or one that extracts value from others in the network who are willing to donate in the hope that they will also receive donations if they recruit hard enough? This sounds an awful lot like a promise of return based on other people's work. It smells like a security offer to me.
Time for the Harry Hoorah!
Well, how about one that attempts to circumvent legal responsibilities inherent in the selling of products, memberships or subscriptions by simply labelling the transfer as a donation? At this point, I wonder why we would not just use one of the many registered charity portals who now accept carrots for donations, or try the pledge and GoFundMe options, somebody there might actually need their teeth fixing. You'll have to watch the full heck stream to get that one. So it must be down to the incentives offered beyond that of normal gifting. An ROI of some sort, perhaps. Austin and his disciples offer many anecdotes and scriptures in a gentle but effective way, highlighting the 4 pillars, as they call them. All consistent with professional NLP tactics, utilising his 60 years of MLM experience, ex-ordained ship and nutritional knowledge to Aunt Sally the debunkers. That's the strawman for all the Yanks out there. Convincing others that this is a genuine opportunity to realise dreams. The worrying part is that it is only his dream. His and a handful of followers that learn how to replicate this informal fallacy. However, they benefit at the cost of others' greed and naivety, all under the cloak of generosity and faith. A stroke of genius, perhaps, if the goal is to justify sitting outside the reach of the regulators and claim immunity to all financial fair play laws. It is, though, in reality, going to catch up with all those involved. Most will lose their carrots and get nothing for it, other than many carrot sellers who have, as a result of the deception, turned red in the face and can see more clearly from all the B2C. I think it's important at this point to look at where and how the carrots move and understand some basics about tokenomics and crypto market valuation for those doing a deeper DD or using a 5Ts style approach to investing. Check out Nick Black for more information on that. I also think it is imperative to look at the history of the storyteller, CEO, and understand who the founder of BDM really is. Watch what people do, not what they say. John? But before I do a deeper dive on Austin's power play, I need to do some housekeeping. I'm not a financial advisor, and this video should be used for entertainment and educational purposes only. You must seek professional advice before making any investment in either the digital or the traditional space, as there is a risk of partial or total loss. Make sure you do some research. Make sure you try and self-custody your assets. Make sure you don't listen to any YouTube influencer guide you in the quest for freedom and liberty. And remember, the information in this video is probably out of date by the time you've got to see it. So these poxy MLM crypto marketeers are like bloody mevbots on the Ethereum networks, extracting value every time a transaction is made by grabbing an early spot in the mempool queue and shotgunning the best floor in the MLM hotel. The penthouse, please, Jeeves! This value extraction, though, has to be outweighed by the effort you put in recruiting others, as there is no real revenue stream outside of the donation process, except, of course, a 20% cut for the tech team and the executives. But you don't get to benefit from that one. So to put my sharp sarcasm into perspective, I recently listened to a Zoom call featuring John Austin, the woman of God, and our unloved Admiral DDH from the Avenger Patrol. Oh, and someone called Ion who believes IRS tax payments are voluntary.
When you hear about Christian people, run, don't walk away, run from
Might be an idea to research frivolous tax arguments at irs.gov and not tell everyone that you haven't paid your taxes for the last 30 years after a junior numpty, who clearly hadn't received any training, told you so on the phone back in 1994. If not, I suggest you dig into the Baron David Ward affidavit defence or have Brandon Joe Williams on direct call. Now, it is my opinion that our Admiral DDH has a perception problem online, akin to the likes of Donald Trump and Robert Kennedy Jr. amongst many. Something unavoidable when you are on the event horizon of opinion. And what unfolded in this Zoom was a masterclass of MLM spin from a CEO that I had at this point never heard of, who claimed not only that gifting above the threshold wasn't illegal, but also denied that there was any pyramid structure or matrix in their compensation plan whatsoever.
No, it is not pyramid in structure at all. Not at all pyramid in structure. There is no pyramid here. There's no matrix whatsoever.
This is by far the most outrageous example of pure gaslighting that I have ever witnessed.
I've never heard that. I've never said that. I've never heard anybody say that, so I couldn't speak to it. I think you're talking about another company, another plan, not ours.
Be right.
Although at the time I didn't realise this was an unadulterated untruth. I had no idea about the specific architecture of their project at that point, and like the Admiral, by the end of the Zoom, I'd softened a little to the spin. My only significant issue, apart from the woman of God, of course, but that's another story for another time, Susie, was around their AML and KYC compliance, or lack of it. Because I am a total nerd and have seen too many scams in the ecosystem to touch anything now that could fundamentally be exposed to wire fraud or knicker laundering. There is also no indication on the website as to company structure or terms and conditions, and invitations are private. So, as you can imagine, when looking into the compensation model, I was shocked to see Austin et al. Presenting what was an unmistakable matrix-based plan. So shocked, in fact, that it made me doubt my own understanding of what an MLM matrix was, and go running off to my new AI assistant, Professor Pontague, for clarification. These pros will hoover you up if there's even a whisper of self-doubt. So the Avengers went full detective mode. Agents BS and I started digging through emails, cross-references, social media and Telegram handles. Agent Bob picked up some cross-referenced emails linking some chap in New Orleans with a penchant for live strip cams. And Agent S, even at 40,000 feet, managed to pull out some exceptional intel. Turns out our boy Austin is no stranger to failed MLMs, token projects and lawsuits. He's had his hand in everything from next gen to new gen, jumping from dead projects to new scams. And the Wyoming Attorney General even hit him with a lawsuit in June 2020 for $1.5 million. Shocking, but not surprising. Unfortunately, as yet, there is no more intel on the outcome of this case, but it does explain his sidestep into crypto MLMs, off the back of a ban on his selling of supplements. So after years of pushing infinity downline schemes and extracting value from his brethren each and every time from that penthouse suite, Austin's real skill appears to be in strawman tactics and hollow hope, which he has spent a lifetime perfecting.
So it's infinity width. Everybody that you refer is going to go on your first level to infinity width, and then you're getting paid to infinity depth on everything but number one.
Infinite width, infinite depth, forever? Wow, such a bold but blatantly ludicrous claim. That doesn't seem to put off those with an appetite for self-gain or a corrupted moral compass. Yet people eat it up, despite not even understanding the compensation models they're buying into.
Free.
Good morning, John, and how you guys doing today? This is CJ from Waukegan.
Well, hello, CJ.
Man, John, I tell you, man, you once again have exceeded my expectations. You know, we've been just kind of being tickled about this and promised about this and that next, and I didn't really know what to expect. But after you laid this out today, man, I've just blew my mind, and I'm sure a lot of other people as well. And I'm so thankful for your commitment to us and our success. So thank you again for doing that. I'm gonna be honest with you, I really don't fully understand the plan from your explanation, but I don't care. I'm gonna go.
That's the beauty of it, CJ. You don't have to understand it to me.
I know. I'm gonna go ahead and look at it later on and study it a little bit. It might take me a week to figure it out because I'm not as smart as most people on the line.
Which is ironic given the biblical leveraging employed. Now, if you managed John chapter 1, you get to Tracy chapter 11 telling us we reap more than we sow, and this is the most dynamic, most powerful compensation model he has seen in his 30 years in this industry.
The law says we reap what we sow. We've got to sow to reap, but when we reap more than what we sow. Now, why is there such a sense of urgency? Because right now, Flair is about 2 cents, but it won't be 2 cents forever. If the pundits are right, and actually they don't even have to be right. They can be really, really, really wrong. But if Flair goes to $1 or $2 and you're sitting on 5 to 10 million Flair, it goes to $4 and you're sitting on 5 to 10 million Flair. So look at this. Look at this. By the way, Flair went down from 2 cents down to 1.5 cents as the overall crypto market did a little correction. But I want you to imagine that you got a $16,000 payout. Let's say you were in a position where you didn't have to convert that into usable cash, and then Flair goes up to $1. That's $1 million in value.
Flair goes up to $2. That's $2 million in value. Flair goes up to $10. That's $10 million in value.
This is one of the reasons I'm saying this is the most dynamic, most powerful compensation model I have seen in my 30 years in this industry after having made millions in this industry.
A little correction, eh? Well, That's a 26% drop, T. But more experienced investors are used to seeing such high levels of volatility. In fact, we actually seek this out, and speculative anxieties caused through FUD and FOMO created by influencers like Mr. Silver shouldn't impact your decisions. They usually have an underlying agenda and blind gambler's mindset, or BGM, time to get a room, he thinks. Pro tip, don't just rush into something before understanding enough about the asset's ecosystem. Flare is indeed an interesting smart contract DeFi platform built on top of the XRP ledger and has registration at Companies House in the UK. But Flare is a separate entity and has no affiliation with BDM other than providing an open source base for anyone to build on, good or bad. You, for example, could use the Flare SDK and deploy a contract. So don't be fooled by the association tactic they use to sell an unrelated donation plan. We saw this with Aave in the Boomerang scam. I mean, you could just go buy a Flare token from a central exchange or self-custody it if you believed its price will rocket up. However, just pause for a moment and think. The current market valuation seems pretty high to me, with a market cap of 680 million and a fully diluted valuation of 1.5 billion. This difference is due to there being less than half of the 102.5 billion tokens actively in circulation currently. That means that the coin's value is actually closer to 0.007 in real terms. Any upside you see will need to offset the 5% inflation strategy that this protocol follows. And although there is a governance system in place, it does seem open to overlord attack. So one last synaptic push before I dive too deep and you lose the will to listen. What do you think the market cap will look like if the Flare token was at the $4 price Tracy tempts you with? Well, it would have to increase by $187 billion in real terms, which takes it into the realms of Johnson & Johnson and Visa. And the FDV would be up there with Microsoft and Amazon. Unrealistic in any short-term assessment, and don't even bother to think that it will reach $4,000 in any time frame. Flare have a lot of work to be done in an extremely competitive market, highlighted when one looks at their ledger on the FlareScan Explorer. It seems we have seen a similar block framework before, but that's definitely a story for another time. So don't forget to flick that subscribe button if you want to catch that one, or you just feel like supporting the effort I've made to inject reason and balance into the battle between evil versus good. Don't get sucked in by the hype, brothers and sisters. Do your homework before throwing your carrots into the wind, or you'll end up with nothing but rotten piles and an empty wallet. Stay safe out there. Crypto G out.